just like that, we are live. What is going on, Internet? And welcome to OnlyCops. On this show, for those that are uninitiated, we do law enforcement-related topics. And today is our Tuesday stream, where we do police-adjacent stuff. And so that we don't do clickbait, we do indeed have the very first story here that covers the good old Ronnie Coleman, who's an alumni of the same police department Bill and I are. We are riding two-man here for a little bit, for as long as we get Bill, and I will get started with it the second you see me go away from this screen. If you're watching this after the fact, you can kind of fast forward until you see me go away from the scorecard, and that is when we actually start the show. But as always, I will say hello to everybody, as I always do in the beginning, and then we will get into doing our little police breakdowns of stuff. Custodies was indeed first, as illustrated by the scorecard. Hello to Brave Django, Peacekeeper Chris, Not Emu, Sam, I don't think this counts as hydration, but I have an orange Celsius. So we're doing pretty good here. Producer Juan, I don't think he's going to be popping in, but Producer Juan is indeed, at least in the chat. Also, happy belated birthday to Producer Juan. Jordan Sutton, Caffeinated, Garrett, Jordan, BWP Photography, Alex 911. What's your max bench? Fix Her Phoner. It is good to see you. Christy C. Jacob hit us with yeah, buddy, lightweight. It's good to see him as well. Let's see. Peacekeeper Chris, Rahay Hamilton, Pisidian. I am Shannon. Little Duck, Andrea. It's good to see you. RJ, Brian Miner, William, Little Duck, not L. Pete. I think I said hi to Christy C, but it is good to see you either way. Tyler Stevens, what is going on, brother? Mando Merck. Oh no, Mando. Oh no, Mark Musso. My dyslexia totally ate all that. The Dan Hammer is in the chat. Jordan Carson. Carl Malone, welcome. First time watching stream live. What's going on, brother? Ask any, I guess, law enforcement related, or I guess just us related questions if you have them. FAFO, it is good to see you. Straw It and Bury It, it is good to see you. I'm almost caught up. Oh, it jumped. Brave Django, welcome to being a second responder. Also, Little Duck, thank you for gifting memberships, my dog. My donation on the relief fund. Not millennial. It's good to see you, brother. Speaking of millennial, I need a Quizlet. I just finished the supplemental police officers course. That was a beating. It was 174 hours of my life I will not get back. But it's the first time I had anything to thank Texas A&M for. So shout out to them for putting on that course. That was a long course. But it took me about 6 weeks to finish in my free time. Let me see if I missed anybody. Not FAFO. John C. Was that a bobcat? Bill Lena. Bill is currently petting the dogs, so he's got to bring them back in from Area 51 so they don't get abducted. Savory Salmon, or Salmon, for those of y'all that are unfamiliar with how that sounds. Mando Mark, you are here. Alex, that's an interesting way to spell Alex. 8830. Thank you for being present. If you guys would like to drop a like while I do all this. Josh, did Arlington have a gang unit? Yes. We typically, I'm trying to remember if we had a specific gang. We had Vice, Heat, and Narcotics. We probably had a gang unit. I never interacted with them, but almost everybody in some way, shape, or form dealt with gangs. 62 watching, only 24 likes. Andrew Sawyer, thank you. I appreciate it. Let me sneak away for a bill. TEXSL. Millennial gets it. It was a thing for sure. I'm not real. I'm guessing Shannon changed her name. And then I think I'm caught up. Ferrero Share or Fire Raptor. Josh, did you hear about San Bernardino deputy that died yesterday? I did not. That is a bad time. Have you tried Alani? Don't know. Reward for suffering TX. Bro, I don't know, man. That was something. I had to leave my feedback for that course, and I kind of chuckled because as I was clicking through it, I was like, dog, y'all are great. I'm glad this is on here, but like, I think it's wrong that Texas requires that. Let's see. Oh, Sam. Oh, this is shout out to the one time Juan is not here. I'm wearing my Team Chenford shirt. Probably puts me out of vogue for those of you that are further ahead than we are in the rookie. But what's going on, Ram? And Cosmic Dark Matter, brother. Thank you for that. I think they probably have an academy, but I only did their online course so that I could reactivate my license. Fearless YouTube. It's also good to see you. But anyways, this is the scorecard for those of you that are not familiar. The scorecard is how we're keeping just our annual score of how people are doing. We have a bunch of different categories. I did not get around to adding jailers. I probably should. I'll ask Juan because he's the one that makes all these cute little, I guess, emojis for these. But we will get started. We are not clickbait here, so we will have it. I want to thank again Millennial for giving me my restitution for suffering here. And then to Brave Django for getting rewarded his membership from Little Duck. Thank you to all. And then we'll get started. Justice for Chenford. You're out of control. Lightweight.
Everyday thing. Last minute. Oh man. Used to rushing this every day. Oh boy.
It's kind of weird to see the old patches. So they still had the old patch on the wall, but by the time I got to Arlington PD, it was a very different patch.
But once I'm here, I'm here. I've been working here for 12 years now. The best thing about working this job is being able to wear shorts.
Golly.
When it's 111 degrees outside and you got a vest on, that makes it about 120 for you.
What a big man.
Well, with shorts on, kind of evens it out to about 115. Takes it down about 5 degrees.
So there were some guys that left all of their equipment at the station, which I always thought was odd. I took all my stuff with me. I'm also CPT as hell, so I showed up like 10 minutes before briefing, every briefing. It was sometimes I showed up 2 minutes before briefing, which is late by police standards, but I guess I also showed up 2 hours after shift started once.
Was it just 2 hours?
It was only 2 hours, yeah. Shout out to Seth for being a Chad and not ratting on me for an hour. Oh, it was a good time. But anyways, there are some people, they had lockers in the North Station that I never used, ever. I didn't even try to use one.
Nope.
Mostly because I had a maintenance cycle for my equipment. So I would always check I used Peerless handcuffs, and they would get rust after a while. So every month I would have to go through those and then clean and relubricate them. And then my gun probably was monthly, even if I didn't shoot it, which there was a time there where I wouldn't. Same thing with like my belt. I would check for stuff every once in a while. You'd have some of the like your leather gear would get kind of tore up. I would just inspect stuff on the weekends. It's kind of my way of also winding up to go back to work. I had the first day off, especially when you work nights, you're just recovering. We did 410s. The second day I could actually go and enjoy myself. And then on the tail end of my third day off, I would do a quick check of all my equipment. But some people did this. This is probably very common. You saw this in End of Watch. You saw this in a couple depictions where everyone just keeps their... This is probably also way more common in not free states. I know in Japan, they straight up turn in their pistols. They can't even take them home when they're off duty, which is wild. But Ronnie Coleman doesn't need a gun because he's Ronnie Coleman. He's probably better armed without it.
Which kind of cuts
The
down
best
on
part
the
about
split.
Ronnie is he was ridiculously strong.
What's the thing is it wasn't because you'll see it like in strongman competitions are great to see. You'll see these guys just get enormous and they're all pure power lifters or whatever. But you do get some physique guys that, which he's obviously not physique, that
He was a bodybuilder though.
that's what I mean. Is like the
But like you look at power lifters.
oh yeah.
And now there's some guys now like John Hack that are lean and insanely strong.
Yeah.
But like Ronnie was,
This is what a normal human being
wildly
looks like
strong.
in a uniform like that.
especially in the 90s or
Yeah.
early 2000s.
Yeah. Like what an enormous human being. Now we also did not have our performance enhancing policy yet.
He is broke. Chet said Chet said he ain't broke, but he is in fact broke. He's had like multiple hip surgeries and he has to
now?
walk with
Yeah.
he's super
You
broke.
cannot go that hard for that long because it's not like he did it for 2 years. You know, because like there's probably like a decade and a half.
8-time Mr. Olympia.
Because there's like a decade and a half probably. Like once you decide like I'm gonna bodybuild, right? Before you're in a physique where you actually could compete, you know, like there's probably a pretty decent build if you weren't already like just like a lifetime fitness person, right? But then to maintain that for damn near a decade plus, like the kind of weight you're moving consistently and the diet you're having to have, and just your joints are your joints. There is nothing different between his joints and everybody else in that room. Ligaments. Well, probably now
Kind of, because he takes growth hormones, so they're a little bit strong. And like building that amount of muscle, you're also working your joints and tendons. Bro, look at the shorts, the short shorts and the white socks back there.
This is
you're also, I mean, you know, you are building joints and ligaments slowly, but
yeah, could you imagine?
Stone production, no silicon.
Crown Vics. I bet he had a stack.
badges look the same.
They do look identical, yes. I have one of these sitting in.
Honestly, the shirts look the same minus the patch.
Just the patch is different, right?
Trying to stay clean. What you have to do.
God, could you imagine, bro? Like,
and he's short too. That's
this
what's
is
funny is he's like, I mean, he's shorter now because of all the surgeries, but I think he was only like 5'7".
like, this is what a normal set of shoulders look like. I'm probably like to here on this guy, you know, like maybe I cut across to like here.
Maybe.
And I'm pretty broad just naturally, but jeez.
I'm gonna play this. Don't get in that van yet, you know. And I said, that's why I grabbed my son by the hand. I said, going back inside right. Well, she lost it and got a hold of me. You know, made a scene.
What's her birthday?
1260,
Yeah.
bro.
Really wasn't that long ago.
That really wasn't. We were in the 3000s.
Birthday
Yeah.
is 3/7,
That badge
What year?
is identical.
67.
No, what's your job title?
Oh, what I do? I'm manager,
Manager.
general manager.
Look at those VHS tapes.
Dude.
4.1
My brother.
million. Saturday's jackpot was
Barbecue
Where
sauce.
is he?
Masterpiece.
He must be at home.
Bruh, the policy changes.
He's always lived in Arlington.
I know. I'm just saying, like, in the day and age of
What do you mean?
I
could go home for lunch when
Could
I
you
lived.
really?
When I worked on South Side and I lived on South Side,
Oh, you know
I
what?
could go home for lunch.
We had a guy that got in trouble because he lived at an agency, and he went home.
Yeah,
for
that's
lunch.
different.
That's a little different than he probably.
Ronnie
on-
lived on South Side for a long time.
especially if he was working that side of town. Then yeah,
Yeah.
If you're within jurisdiction, who cares?
If
Especially
you were,
if you're in your area
and
of
I
operation.
lived in my beat, so like I was supposed to be
That's even- I was
there.
gonna say, even if they pinged you, they're like, I mean, he's chilling.
Yeah,
There's a funny story where my wife and I lived on South Side, and she was convinced somebody was trying to break into the apartment. And before calling
Yep.
911, she called me, and I was on duty.
yep.
And I'm like, I don't know, 40 miles away or something, 20 miles
Guess
away.
who else was on duty?
I was going to say. And I just remember
This guy.
on
This
the
guy
phone,
right here.
we were in early FTO. I remember.
Very early. It was A or B.
And I remember getting on I'm sitting there with my FTO, like driving the car, and my
Yeah.
phone buzzed more than, like, the call cycle went through. I ignored it. The second one pops up, so I pull my phone out, and my FTO, God bless him, he's like, "What's your wife? You better pick that up if you want to keep this one." So I kind of chuckled, especially coming from him. That was hilarious. But I pick up my phone and I answer it. And she's like, I think someone's trying to get in the apartment. I'm like, why are you calling me? Like, I don't know.
You're a cop. What do you mean?
Nowhere near you. So fortunately, she decided to call 911. Unfortunately, it was nothing. But did you actually make scene on that?
I was the first one on scene.
That is hilarious. That makes my day so much.
Yeah. Because it came out. Priority 1 at first. And then it toned out, and then it said it was an officer's wife. So my corporal was like, my corporal was real cool. He was like, fuck 20 miles an hour over the speed limit. You get there now. And I was like, okay.
He goes, I'll explain the write-up. It's fine. Just get after
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Needless to say,
No one was breaking in.
Yeah, there was
thankfully.
nothing that serious, but it was a funny conversation after the fact. We now get to reminisce from time to time. Bill and I are close. In case you didn't
Dude,
know
a lot of cops showed up for that call.
I remember, like, almost a year later, somebody came up to help us because it's Northside was always drowning in calls.
Yeah,
And
always.
somebody came up and he was like, "Wait, aren't you that one guy?" Like, he remembered the call, and he saw my last name and recognized the name in the call, and it was kind of funny.
Friends late last night. Locals say Smith's was more than just a hardware store. It was a place to meet.
My brother out there getting
Masterpiece
it.
barbecue sauce. Best barbecue sauce.
His daughter has assaulted her in the stomach area with a
gotta be
kid.
like B
At this
shift.
time, the daughter's in the
B
bedroom.
shift,
did not
yeah,
have
probably.
the
It's
Vehicle
like the
might have
10
been
Well-
illegal.
shift.
Yeah.
God, just a normal person. What a big human being.
There's no fatal funnel behind Ronnie.
No.
Problem here.
Where's mom?
What's going on? I'll make it.
Christmas time?
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Ronnie.
If I hit my mom back, I'd be dead.
Hold on. I just get that for the soundboard. Hold on. Where's the 8 to 19 minutes? Here we go.
Foot when I was a kid, I got hit all over.
She got right all over her legs.
If I hit my mom back, I'd be dead.
Advice from Ronnie.
I have a hard time understanding y'all kids today. When I was a kid, we just did what we were told to do. And that was just
Oh, hooking them. Oh, and it's kids. Oh.
Yeah. End of shift too. That sucks.
Bro. Then you gotta do the damn, what is it, the sealed records thing? It's like a different, like, there's my regular Miranda. There's like a whole ass
I don't
worksheet.
even remember.
It was like a page and a half long. You had to read the whole thing explaining that they could, like, seal their records, and you had to notify jail staff because you were going into, like, that weird side door.
Yeah.
And then you had to do the logbook, and you had to call, I think it was the superintendent or something like that you have to, like, notify, and it's a whole pain in the ass. Then Kimbo. It's another 20-minute drive with the stupid kid. Bro, and then Kimbo intake. Let me see your paperwork. I had a lady that worked there that took no shit.
Yeah. I like the guy. The guy was pretty cool.
The guy was an absolute Chad. You know what?
Yeah.
That guy was good. Whoever the intake guy at Kimbo is, you know exactly who you are.
He was very cool.
You were an absolute unit.
He seemed like he was actually there because he cared about those kids and like trying to
He'd get out and he'd
help
be
them.
talking to them. And he'd be getting through the
Oh, yeah.
paperwork and all that. There was a one lady just golly.
Yeah, she didn't care. She was horrible.
You would have thought.
But he would read our reports and he'd be like, "Man, why are you doing this?" He's
Right.
like, "You're 14." He's like, why are you doing this stupid stuff?"
There was a lady that, I mean, she treated us like we owed her money. Like, that's how bad it was.
I think she thought we did.
Shout out to Kimbo. That's Tarrant County's Juvenile. It's a detention facility, is what it is.
Why are you crying? She ain't.
Oh, no, somebody. Oh, okay.
Okay, let's go.
Why are you crying?
Oh, shit.
What a cool story. We got arrested by Ronnie Coleman.
Just a little bit. I put the seatbelt on.
Oh, these old school lights.
482, 476.
What is this briefcase?
That's probably like his
That's probably what he keeps all his food in.
no. It's like
I'm
our
saying-
duty
Oh,
bag.
it's like your duty bag, so that's where he keeps all his paperwork. That's
I
pretty
would guess.
small for.
I
you
would
know what?
guess.
We probably have more forms now than they did back then.
Yeah.
Because you still have like the pseudonym forms and all that stuff, and
Yeah.
it's a bunch of paperwork.
Probably way more now.
It's more. The
After
lawyers
every
don't-
day I finish this job, another day, another quarter. That's what it compares to when you compare it to my Olympia salary.
You know what the sad part is?
But here,
He's not even lean here.
No, dude, this is like
You can tell because his triceps aren't like
really
super
defined.
defined.
Olympia,
Great word.
They could probably take you
Just
to
what
show
an
it.
enormous human being.
Like I said,
Yeah.
you know, I love what I do.
Like if he croaked over and died, and they had to bury him like that, like bro, you would need an extra large casket.
Dude, it's insane that he's as healthy as he still is today.
yeah.
Like,
And
yeah,
you
he's
did
had
too much-
surgeries and stuff, but like if you go watch some of his lifting videos, oh my gosh.
What a Chad.
Go to that go up and to the right. That middle one. Play
How
that.
much do you think you were spending back then?
I was spending at least probably a good extra $10,000
Maybe mute
just
it
on
because of the
food.
music.
I used to eat like 10.
There you go.
I was just hoping he would show his physique when he was like jacked.
You're not eating enough. This guy's probably doing like 5,000 calories a day and like hating food by the end of it, you know?
I bet it was more than that. He weighed 300 plus pounds.
Oh yeah, it probably was. Oh my god.
They tricked us
you
with
know
that
what?
thumbnail.
We get to give points to municipals. Let's go.
Sam, my lifting videos are not that impressive.
Yeah. We're all pretty pedestrian. Where does he keep his special syringes? Probably at home.
Honestly, though, they didn't take I feel like they take crazier stuff now.
Oh, I'd
than they
agree.
did back then.
Well, because back then they knew better than to be crazy aggressive with the stuff they had, because it wasn't like it was probably harder to get really good professional help with that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So you had
You had to know
you had to know
the
a
right
guy of a
doctor.
guy of a guy, right?
Yeah.
And they were probably very squared away. They got paid a lot of money to do this, whereas now, especially with the way that just the supplement industry as a whole has changed in like the last 15 to 20 years.
Yeah, that's not how it works, phoner. You can't just take steroids and then turn into that.
Oh, dude, imagine if it was that easy.
I love that everyone thinks that it is.
Because all it really does is help your body survive.
It helps with recovery. It doesn't help with
That's what
muscle
I mean.
growth.
But it's just like if you tried to do the same things, you just would never recover. Like,
You
that's the
never look
problem.
like him either because
You just couldn't.
a lot of
There's-
his genetics played a huge role.
But it helps. Definitely helps. Yeah, he was a cop for a hot minute, but it was in the late 90s.
It says 89 to 2000.
Well, there you go. Look at that.
Yeah. And Alex Webb said, would departmental drug testing catch those kind of steroids now? Only if they're doing blood.
Yeah, they would have to do
We did blood like once.
They had a pretty big sting right before we got there.
Yeah.
Shout out to our SWAT team at the time. But I think it was them that got, because they were like, you guys are looking a little too big. Like, I get it. Like, and typically a lot of our guys on SWAT, they were workout. Pretty much most major departments, your SWAT team's like a very fit group of guys. You're that before you get into SWAT. And then in SWAT, now you're getting paid to be that. So, and I think it's essential for the job. That some of the things you're asking them to do, that's a hard job to do, especially in a big city like that. But some of them were doing a little too good. And they had a policy against stuff like anabolic steroids and whatnot. And so now everyone goes the TRT route and nobody gets in trouble.
Now chase that looks.
TRT is not getting you.
That's what I mean. It's again like another step down from anabolic steroids. Help you a decent amount, right?
Yeah, synthetic testosterone is just.
It's gonna get if anabolic steroids were gonna give you like let's say it's like a 70% bump, TRT is probably giving you like a 20 to 10% bump.
And it depends on how much you're taking, because if you're doing true TRT, you get your blood work done every 4 months, and then they adjust your dosages so you don't get outside of
generic common
natural like physiological levels.
Yeah. You just get old like me.
Looks like a scene out of the Old West, except the Wild Wild West didn't have palm trees.
Giddy up.
Get that Batman now. Get it.
A police horse named Nash chases a drug suspect through the streets of Jacksonville. The horse gallops through a red light, dodging cars.
Hey, get on the ground. You're going to get run over.
Sheriff's Officer Cassie Harris in the
car.
He ain't running that fast.
No.
Like, he's maybe at a power walk. Ain't no need for this horse.
And Nash, a Clydesdale, isn't horsing around.
Come on, Nash. Come on, Nash. Get him, boy. Bro, you're not going to run.
I wonder if he bites him. I wonder if he's trained to give him like a nip, kind of pull him over.
Awesome.
They're capable,
Yeah.
A kick would be excessive,
too.
but there's like a little bite and drag, I feel like you could teach
maybe
a
like
horse to do that.
maybe like a sidekick.
Or like a chest bump.
A Florida horse.
Maybe it's like a pit maneuver with a horse. Just kind of like nose him, just kind of nail him.
That's on the horse. You better stop.
Finally, the out-of-breath suspect gives up and is apprehended.
Jeez. Lady, get on the ground.
She's super amped.
Thanks to some serious horsepower.
Get it, Nash. Get that Batman. Get that Batman, Nash. Get it. Get it, Nash. Hey,
it's alleged.
What do you have to put in your use of force report? If you chase him, is that a use of force?
I feel like that'd have to be. You're gonna say,
right?
The use of horsepower was effective.
Oh,
or whatever.
I don't know about all of that. It is weird that they're using a Clydesdale for
like a PD horse. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be. Like horses are already expensive.
Because Django said Clydesdales are bred for towing, not racing.
That's kind of what I mean. Like, they're just a big old chunky horses, to my understanding.
It's weird.
That is weird. I don't know. This is municipal, I'm assuming. Oh, no, it's the sheriff's office. Oh, shout out.
Is it?
Yeah. They could use some
Office
help.
of Sheriff?
They could use some help.
Oh, sorry. Use of horse.
Oh,
sorry.
That's...
Chat's going crazy.
You know what? Where's chat? Where's chat? That's pretty top tier use of horse.
Use of horse.
That's got to be a
Juan
sticker.
should make that a shirt.
I was going to say.
We'll use Keith's we'll use Keith's little avatar and we'll put it on a cartoon horse.
And it's just it's like him on the horse, like jumping over something with like a PR-24 in his hand.
Yes.
Yes. Timestamp it. That's at 29 minutes. It's the best.
You know,
idea
LP,
we've had so
that's
far.
a good question. What is she gonna do if she catches him?
That's what I
wait
mean.
for a patrol car to show
like,
up?
how does that work? Like, what's the apprehension model here? Because we had another video where the guy legit had a lasso. He just was a cowboy.
Now that's awesome.
Because he just, I mean, it's...
Well, remember we watched that one video of that one cop. She wanted to lasso that guy so bad.
Yeah. But like that, that makes a little bit of sense, right? And you got the skill to do it, knock it out. But like...
I want to ask someone why Clydesdales are common police horses.
Are they really?
That's what Tyler said.
Built for feed, not for speed. That sounds like you're describing me. I feel like, what is it, Gimli? I'm good at short distances.
2,000 meters. That's about all I got.
I'll tell you what, if it's inside 2,000 meters, but hold on to your britches, because I'll get you. You hit that threshold, I'm just going to lay over and die. Oh, get out. One, this is kind of based. They have like a legit Huey for a helicopter. I bet these are great.
Aerial sniper training is hot over there. Is this
No way. They're just
what sheriff's department is this?
I don't know, dog, but they got way too much money.
The helicopter said sheriff on it, so
what did they have?
That's so cool.
They're just dragging a mattress, I guess. And I guess it would be easy to keep score though, because you would just say like, I'm gonna shoot 10 rounds, and I better see 10
see how many
rounds
holes
in it.
there
Yeah.
Today we're doing some aerial platform shooting, just building some skill sets and adding some more tools to our tool belt. It's one of those tools that we hope to never have to use.
I love this green.
Where's he from?
Oh,
but it's better to be prepared for it. And
oh, dang it. It was there for like a split second. Hold on.
Is it?
Sheriff.
Oh, right there.
County sheriff.
Something.
I can't see.
And have that ability and
That's
never
so
use
cool.
it, then need it and not have it.
Looks like somewhere
As a
west,
shooter,
right?
it's a whole different skill set.
Maybe Arizona?
Bro, what a drippy setup, dude. He's got the aim point, the pec, the suppressor.
Well,
the
he's
surefire.
clearly SWAT. Is that a hand tattoo?
Oh.
Could I work there?
Oh, he goes, hold on. He goes, I'm gonna have to lay off the fun stuff and start doing some cardio.
What are you talking about?
That when you're looking at your point of aim and where your actual projectile is actually going to
I ran
strike.
6 miles
Again,
on
there's
Sunday,
a
sir.
lot of
work.
I'm fine.
I'm trying to see if this is a Troy gun or if this is a... I don't think this is a Super
It's hard
Duty.
to tell from that rail, isn't it?
Yeah, this is what I'm looking at here.
Super Duties are pretty new, aren't they?
Yeah, some people are bougie. He's got the Unity switch. I do find it interesting. So this is real common now that it's like department policy that they have backup irons. But when you're running something like a PEC, they tend to spill on your front sight. So he just moves the front sight behind all of that. He's like, I have iron sights. I have an aim point, so it doesn't matter, but I have iron sights.
Science to it, a lot of math.
And this is like I think this is a B&T suppressor. It almost looks like a Hux from the front.
Yeah, but not
really quick and having to make
doesn't.
adjustmts literally on the fly. That's
The
one of the
ARFCOM
most
video
fun
I did. We actually did this at what was it? Gunstock. We had this at Gunstock. I don't remember who.
Sure did.
I got somebody up on this helicopter. I don't remember who it was, but they did.
Wasn't me. Never will be.
Bro, I wish it was me. I gave up my seat for somebody.
Nope. I'll shoot on the ground. Thank you.
You're not afraid of heights.
I'm not a fan of leaning out of a helicopter.
That's fair. That's fair. Especially when I trust some deputy. Oh, his thing's got a mustache. Oh my God. Bro, okay, hold on. Deputaz, I'm going to give him...
I guess to be fair, I'd probably be more comfortable in a police helicopter than I would like a private citizen.
Yeah.
The aviation unit normally responds to calls for service in very remote areas. We've had many incidences where people are out in the desert, they're armed. Without being able to return fire, all we can do is fly away. Yeah, vehicle pursuits represent a really high level of danger to the public and to law enforcement in general.
We're practicing not only stationary targets, but we're also implementing moving targets that would replicate like a hood of a vehicle.
So what's weird about this kind of shooting is that you are at a downward angle. So your ballistic flight path is very different. I mean, I'm not saying it's more straight, but it's definitely something you have to take into account. Even shooting at a downward deflection at all. It's gravity's acting on the bullet very differently. So like your 5,200 zeros don't make any sense anymore. All of your holds are very different when you're aiming down. Not to mention moving, which is cool. It's pretty cool.
To disable a vehicle if we need to. There's a multitude of different scenarios where an aerial platform might give us an advantage over a suspect and help us better protect Pinal County.
What a cool.
It's very cool.
I gave them a lot of time.
It is Pinal County. Oh, look at them.
Pinal County. Bro, they're on it. Shout out to Little Duck. He was on that before it went live. I gave them like 30 points. This is cool. I'm just hating from outside the club. I also really like this green. I really am a fan of this green for uniforms.
That's cool.
This is pretty hot. They be giving y'all way too much. Bro, they have like it's like a 1,500 out here.
Yeah, it's just a newer Chevy. It might be a 2,500.
Out here, bougie. I gave them points.
Fort Worth has Super Duties.
I saw one the other day.
Yeah,
and
they're
I was
sweet.
like, maybe I go back.
Well, that Super Duties only do highway traffic control.
I was gonna. They're probably doing something very specific. They're not doing patrol.
No.
You have your ID on you? I do not. You don't have your ID? I have it in the car. I could grab it. Yeah, why don't you grab your ID? Because we still got to confirm your warrant.
A bit excessive.
I'm not saying you don't check, but there's other ways of doing that. But whatever, deputy.
Can you turn yourself in?
He misses the titty party.
You don't have your ID? I have it in the car. I could grab it. Yeah, why don't you grab your ID? Because we still got to confirm your warrant.
Yeah, dog. What the hell, dude? Like, I'm not saying it's a write-up, but he decided to be offended. He would be. I guess. Shout out to the old timer. I'll give y'all 5 points for. We did these warrant. Like people would just turn themselves in to sit out there, or they had an agreement to sit out like a ticket, so they would just sit them out on the weekends. They would come in like Friday night or Saturday or Sunday, especially when you were a rookie. You did a lot of these. We got like 2 a night, especially like when I had that real cush gig where I got to work the desk for my Fridays. It was kind of nice. It's the tail end of 2020 on my Fridays. When Bill left, I didn't want to be on the street, so I agreed to fall on the sword and go work the desk, which played me sometimes. Every once in a while, I got hoed there. Where I'm taking like 4 reports from the desk plus some D-bag that wants to turn himself in. But it is what it is.
The darkest moment of my entire life is knowing that I am capable of murdering children. And I realized everything about myself is wicked and evil.
You're running straight for hell. That's your message, then brother. I'll see you
What is going on here?
there.
Hey, Aaron, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands right now.
Hands now.
Sorry, Juan. I wasn't quick enough on my feet.
I had it all planned. What did he have?
He said play the duck sound when the squeeze
happens. Oh, when the squeeze happened? Wah. That's an appropriate time.
He said quack further up. Juan, you should have told us ahead of time. I could have been ready.
Given me. We could have been on the... Because that would have been a good... Got to do it in post. Sorry, Megan.
What can I do with a 308 round?
Not a damn thing.
Yeah, because you don't own anything.
In a desperate race against time, officers in Groton, Connecticut hunt for 33-year-old former Marine Corps combat veteran Aaron Stanislav. After a series of disturbing live stream videos leaves them fearful he may have deadly intentions. With his whereabouts a mystery, the search becomes more daunting by the hour as they urgently work to find him before he might do the unthinkable.
How are you going to get to lock me up?
The following report is based on official police records, and most of the footage has never been seen before until
He
now.
did all that on Twitch?
Please note that all persons charged with a crime are presumed innocent unless and until...
You're gonna need like a pretty generous TOS to do that. Vet or AWOL? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I will say this though: you'll get military recruiters. Take anyone that'll sign that piece of paper, right? Basic tends to wash out some people, right? Every once in a while you get lucky and like medical will like wash out a couple more people. But you'll get some people that make it through everything there. I mean, the military they want it to be convenient for you to stay and serve, right? But man, some of the people where the military is like, maybe we'll just go ahead and hand you this DD-214. like you're not worth, the juice is not worth the squeeze. Like your indentured servitude to the state is a negative transaction. You're costing the state more to keep you here than we are getting anything out of your time. So, and it's always those, dude. Because you'll see it, like when you actually look at the DD-214, that they're like all over the fucking place already. And then we're stuck putting up with them because now you're taking this like angry, disenfranchised youth. He's like, we kept them just long enough to teach them how to be a little bit dangerous. And then it's like, here you go. It's a good time.
Proven guilty in a court of law.
To be fair, you could say the same thing for some cops.
Oh, 1,000%. Every government, anything. The government will teach you just enough to be dangerous and then kick you out. Like, people come through the crack. I would argue at least everybody coming out of the military, for the most part, if you're coming straight out of your like enlisting phase, you're at least in shape. The same can't be said about cops. You just get sociopaths that are out of shape, which is a little more safe.
Police first encountered Aaron, who has experience as a heavy artillery operator, back in November 2023, after he was found to be hiding ammunition, high-capacity rifle magazines, and body armor in the woods. Officers seized the items and arrested him, though their exact reasons for doing so aren't entirely known.
I'm guessing it's a state thing. This is probably like Massachusetts or something, where they're going to treat you like, you know.
Especially if you're a vet, though, like,
I mean,
it's not like you don't have some reason to have those. I mean,
right. But either way, if it's not a prohibited item, right?
Right.
Like if I'm allowed to legally purchase it, I'm I think the whole thing's
back then. He was found to be living inside an abandoned school called the Mystic Education Center.
What?
Now, on January 20th, 2025,
did he name it that, or is that what it was
video
called?
I bet that's what it was called.
The Mystic Education Center.
Yeah.
Featuring disturbing messages about murdering children, raised serious alarms with law.
That's a reasonable. I mean, he's saying like really out there stuff. So the it's gonna be like terroristic threat is gonna be.
You know, that might not be out there though, because if we sent this guy to fight in some, we can call them legitimate wars, I guess, if we want, but.
I think what's sad too, and a lot of people
probably having a mental breakdown, because
I've had this discussion about like not like pushing the age for law enforcement to be up to 25, and a lot of people they immediately respond with, "Oh, but we can send you to war at 18," and I was like, "Agreed." That's a mentally damaging space for young people. The problem is that you'll get an 18-year-old kid that's not like his kid's barely made his own bed. And it's cool. You're going to teach them life skills and how to take care of themselves. The problem is you're going to now put them in an environment where they may not have the coping skills to deal with some of the stress or the decisions that you have to make or the stuff you have to see. Or worse, you're surrounding that 18-year-old kid with a bunch of jaded, shitty 30-year-olds, right? That have seen combat tours and have already adopted that like very dark sense of humor. But they've survived that and managed to have, hopefully, healthy relationships and whatnot, which that's oftentimes not the case either, right? But because of
also when you join the military, it's 24/7.
Yeah,
like you don't get a break, you don't get downtime. If you're deployed, you don't get any downtime.
And so like the average Joe goes into this environment, probably comes out with a dark sense of humor, but is able to leave because they, like any other adult, develop coping mechanisms. you take someone that's already predisposed to mental health issues, right? It's the lack of coping mechanisms. Maybe he's suffered some sort of abuse as a young person. And then he goes in that environment and it like quadruples the issue he would have been prior to that environment. Is often what we talk about. It's why we don't incarcerate kids. You become an adult, we'll throw you right in county and let you sit there. That's fine. But as a kid, our nervousness, the fear from the state is, I take that child that's already a little messed up. Now let me surround him with a bunch of already messed up people, and I've put them down a path they really can't course correct on. This is kind of oftentimes so. As much as yes, this guy is kind of creepy, and I'm sure this is kind of where the story's going. This is a result of what happens when you allow young people into some of those spaces. There's a lot of discussion that can happen around stuff like OnlyFans and all of that stuff, where it's a very similar conversation that like these are young people that aren't ready to cope with those types of environments. But yeah.
Enforcement.
I hate kids. Yeah, no, I would murder all of them. No,
jeez.
The second I hit on pause.
My goodness.
Where's society? Hold on.
Hey, at least he's honest.
I don't know that I want to call that self-aware, but at least he's honest. You're right.
Find me a kid I wouldn't murder.
They began searching for Aaron at the Mystic Education Center with the hopes he may still be squatting.
There's somebody somewhere out there that's like, that's my First Amendment. Right.
Well,
everybody's don't clip it.
There.
Please don't.
The last time we found him, where was he?
Oh, what a sketchy place to approach.
I don't know where that is.
Can you imagine searching an abandoned school?
Yeah, it's a bad.
In one of the videos,
It would be
Aaron
like
makes
equal fun and equal shitty at the same time.
Hey, bro, all those commercial buildings, you remember? Bro.
Oh yeah, but never a school.
Never.
A school, I feel like would be different.
Yeah, that's true.
unusual statements as he cuts plastic tubing inside a garbage dumpster. His
copper.
hand appears injured by his own blade.
Copper, probably.
Imagine when they started telling doctors it was like, hey.
Oh no, those look like
some people
actual.
Just like tubes, like
yeah, like tubes.
Yeah.
Want to die, and the doctor was like, well, then what the am I doing here? He's like, you got to kill him.
A 45-minute recording posted on January 19th shows only a black screen. The chilling audio hints at a deeply unsettling possibility.
So then I was chunking those things in the woods, and then you guys didn't find all the ones that I hid everywhere else. Yeah, so then I knew that my plan was working just fine. Yeah, my tricks were all in place. Man, you hadn't even pulled 3 out of 16 cards. And I got way more than 16 cards. How did I get my guns back? Oh, I left a few with family, and then I left the rest at the bottom of the Mystic River. What can I do with a 308 round?
Mystic River, Mystic School. This makes more sense.
Yeah, chat filled me in.
Before long, officers locate the sauna.
Ah, there we go. All right.
Oh, very cool. Thank you, Django. I'll watch it after stream.
Yeah, there it is.
Found the sauna?
The school had a sauna?
I got meat here. Cheese. Warm or cooked up.
What kind of school is this?
Bags.
Aaron is nowhere to be found, but officers find no shortage of strange discoveries among his belongings.
I didn't see any bags, or he could have weapons.
So you run this power to? Fire alarm? What's that?
It's just tied to 2 pieces of wire that are drawn.
I'd be so nervous about booby trapping here.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's already into that weird headspace. Like,
yeah.
The mind of the offender, boys and girls.
Down. He's got a charger up here.
Phone charger?
Yeah. Nah, just empty space.
Not co-ed.
No.
Where's this wire stuff going on?
Y'all need to chill.
It's a little shady.
That's what it said on the sign.
Oh.
The door.
Oh, they were saying not co-ed? Question mark.
No, the sign in the sauna, like the rule sign, the first part you could read said not co-ed.
That's fair.
That's kind of weird.
It is weird.
Unsure of the wire's purpose, officers decide to leave it alone. One officer locates a diary, reading an eerie excerpt from its pages.
You're running straight for hell. That's your
I've
message,
been tricked
my brother.
by a booby trap or
I'll see you
two.
there.
One video posted by Aaron leads to a breakthrough in their search when an officer is able to identify the location of his live stream as a VFW building, which serves as a community center for veterans 5 miles away from the school.
I'll be here all day. Groton PD, Mystic PD, Stonington PD. Anyone want to come out here and figure out how to get this extension cord to work? Be my guest.
Law enforcement from both Stonington and Groton police departments race to the building and approach with caution, hoping he may still be inside.
Did you pay for it? Hey, Aaron, let me see your hands. Let me see your hands right now.
Hands now.
He goes, what? Why does he have a headlamp on? It's like a lit building.
Show your hands back up.
Is it, or is it their flashlights?
Back up.
Outside the bar.
This is his.
Because look at the room.
Oh, it might be reflecting off of like because like I have one right here. I use this one to work on my truck, but like
yeah,
it might be catching the light kind of like that, where it's the reflective cone in there is pushing light back. You might be right.
Come out now.
Oh no, it's on.
Get on the ground.
Turn around.
Yeah, but that room he was in is dark.
Get on the ground.
Get on the ground.
Maybe they turned the lights on. What if he was in there in the dark?
Now.
Oh no, there's another person there.
This lady's like, what? He's like, it's fine. The guy you have cleaning your stuff's talking about killing kids.
Well, at least it's not a daycare, right?
Oh, agreed.
Aaron, you're just being detained right now, okay?
I'm sure.
Are we sure?
So I guess you'd have him on criminal trespass for the school, because that was like a locked building that he had clearly broken into, and like he's established some sort of residency, or he's trying to establish residency there, right? And then you're gonna have likely something under terroristic threat, like causing alarm, especially if you're making plans. So like it's one thing to say like, and again, under an art piece or whatever, you can say whatever you want in America. Shout out to it. But then you start like developing plans, like you start to have like a target package for a school, and they can find evidence of it. That was a little different. It's like going to be criminal conspiracy or something like that.
I was like, hello.
Thank you. I appreciate that, okay?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't have a warrant, though.
Us, all right?
What am I going to do? I'm in cuffs.
Yeah, you would need an arrest warrant for that. You're not just going to run up and bag him, right? Like you would have to build the case, find the evidence for the criminal conspiracy or whatever.
Because like, what are you?
And then issue. Because I don't really know.
So according to them, they're detaining him.
Right.
What are they detaining him for?
That's what I was going to ask. If they aren't going that route with a charge, we're just detaining you for questioning. Like that's not a kosher detention.
And like, what are you asking him? Like,
yeah,
what
what's the line of
questions are you going to
questioning?
ask him that's going to get you to a criminal offense if you don't already have one?
And especially if you're like pressing, if you're putting him in cuffs. I mean, you did a use of force. If you threatened him with a taser, probably had guns drawn, right?
Probably a gun also.
The likelihood that he believes he's under arrest, like he probably should get Mirandized at this point. Like, I don't know that I'm questioning him without doing that, right? But like then he'd have to be under arrest for something. Like I don't know. This is kind of a weird. I'm not saying do nothing. Like clearly, like if especially you're a pretty small town, this kind of stuff's rare. If you did nothing and something came out of this, there's going to be some hard questions for you to answer. Even in a big
definitely
city.
definitely not do nothing. But I just feel like you'd have enough for an arrest.
Yeah, B&E or breaking and entering. That's kind of why I was saying like the criminal trespass. So he didn't have any desire to. You couldn't prove like arson or an assault or anything like that. But you might go like theft of service.
Theft.
Because he's trying to like charge stuff. So if he's tapping into
what
the
if
school's power to do it, then yeah.
What if he took stuff out of the school and sold it?
Yeah, or stuff like that.
You'd have to prove it. But
the biggest thing is when they first walked into it, there was a chain on that door that clearly got bypassed. Remember that creepy? It was off of Avenue J. That creepy old building.
It was technically in the city next to us.
Yeah. Hey, that we did not go into.
Yes, we did. There was nothing in there. It's just painted weird.
And what do we got?
Agreed.
What do we got today? What do we got today?
We had you hooked up with the VA. What happened, bud?
Oh, you guys were just helping again.
Aaron's videos contain no shortage of opinion when it comes to the help
So I
he's been
guess they
given.
could say NED?
I would understand
or whatever
the
their
NED,
version is called.
Because if it's an emergency detention or like a mental hold, if you want to call it that, they would say that he's got the homicidal ideations, a history. They're likely could pull something up as far as his service record that would demonstrate that he had some sort of history of violence, and that they can see an escalation in that. He's talking about plans. He's making about plans about hurting people, and then he's out and about doing stuff. We want to make sure that he's actually getting seen by mental health professionals. He does something after that, and at least the state can say they tried. But I can see the NED.
In the past.
The 18, 19 people in a day who say, hey, man, I'm just trying to look out for you. I'm just trying to take care of you, man. I'm just trying to help you out. Here's some more jail time. I'm like, man, you sure do sound like a friend to me. Take care. I'm glad you're watching. Thanks, cops.
What happened with the VA?
Nothing. He was cleaning.
You do understand there's a lot of people that want to see you.
You understand I was washing
I don't think that was the VA, was it?
That's where they were at, yeah. He was in the VA.
Oh, then why was he on the outside?
So
like
he was
saying,
outside.
"Oh, this extension cord doesn't work."
Yeah, he was in the outside videotaping, but when they got him in there, he was cleaning. Like
that was
clearly
the inside of the VA.
Yeah, there was a lady there in the kitchen, just kind of chilling. So I don't know, because the VA didn't call; they recognized it. So that's
VFW.
There you go.
Sorry, Shannon.
But the I don't know. I just don't know what they have there unless there was a complainant there. Everyone, there's a big difference. There is indeed. It's all stuff I don't get any part of.
Well, you're washing doors and then telling stories about killing kids in between that.
Uh-oh.
So that's...
Yeah, you know, that's strange. That's strange. Sandy Hook, when was that? When was it? When was Sandy Hook, guys? Do you guys remember the date? I don't remember. You know how many kids were killed? Do you remember who killed them?
Yeah, I think you could articulate it.
Who did it? Adam Driver did it? Did I do it?
Adam Driver?
Did I do it?
I mean, he did
in
the movie.
No, I was at dancing when that happened. Thank you. Not killing kids. Thank you.
In one of his live streams, Aaron references the moment he learned of the Sandy Hook massacre, which took the lives of 20 children and 6 adults in December 2012. His words and actions that followed raised serious concerns with those who watched the video.
I just remember we were all sitting there. There must have been at least 20 of us sitting in the little bunker that we eat our little spaghetti MREs in every night for 7 months straight. And then on the news, it was like 20-something dead in Connecticut in a Sandy Hook shooting. Mentally ill kid or whatever, shooting teachers and children. But I was just sitting there in the bunker and they were saying, like, here's the M4 or whatever AR style rifle he was using, and all of us have that. All of us are sitting on 180 rounds, 30 in the gun, 1 in the chamber. And I had to imagine the children and how I would do it. Click, squeeze, click, squeeze, click, click, squeeze, click, click, squeeze. I said the darkest moment of my entire life is knowing that I am capable of murdering children. You don't really get to be a human being.
Though highly disturbing, it's far from the worst of his statements. The officers work to get answers from Aaron, who drags the conversation.
I'm still outside of an emergency detention. I'm struggling to see an offense. The reason why we're bringing this up is if you're going to conduct an investigation, or let's say you're going to consider this an intervention of some sort,
that was also still pretty vague.
That's what I was getting at. Is I was like, what's the difference in between this and any kind of, self-help blog or whatever?
I mean, there's worse shit said on Reddit every day. So.
Oh, well, and justice for Adam Driver.
And the ARFCOM forums, I'm sure.
No kidding. I'm 100% that. But like you just have to have a better plan. That's my only critique here, is you have to have a better plan and a better objective moving forward. If you're standing there like you done caught, I don't know, Enron in a scandal or something, like have an enforcement plan in place and then execute it. Really, this discussion should be happening in an interview room, not here candidly while he's detained.
Yeah.
It's just a weird
Yeah,
there's a lack of observation of code and criminal procedure here. So,
conversation into an unexpected new direction.
How many times we gotta do this? You know, I don't get to sleep at night, you know, anymore, because I got to pay things all the time. No. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So you're exactly bringing it upon yourself. I sure am. I'm ready for that. But why? Yeah, exactly. Why? Why are we killing kids? Can you tell me why? Why are we killing kids? I wasn't talking about killing. Why are we killing kids? When the towers came down, sir, I was in the 5th grade. Did you think that we did that? No, you did not. I was asked to kill children that bandstand. I said no 4 times. Thank you. Sorry. I said no 4 times. I got to pay for it now. I got to go to jail every day. And I know you're not plans. Not your hearts.
Yeah, I don't think jail's the best place for him.
Yeah, I wonder if there's also maybe some substance abuse that's likely happening. Pretty common.
As like a like to numb whatever he's dealing with.
Well, and it would exacerbate whatever issues he was having, right? So like
if he's on the right substances, yeah, it could really jack with some kind of.
So that's kind of my, because you'll get a lot of people again, and everyone's got a different tolerance for this. I'm not here to sit there and say one way or the other that he's struggling to cope with this or not. I mean, obviously he is, but I mean, you get a lot of people that are doing heinous stuff in the military. That you'll get somebody that's a cook and comes out with just as much, PTSD, but chooses very poor coping mechanisms, and then this ends up happening. So, their line of questioning, you're looking for: does he want to hurt himself? Does he want to hurt others?
It does feel like they're trying to go the emergency detention route.
Yeah,
but like
it's the poor line of questioning. Also, sus. This looks like a 320.
Saying, but at the same time, you're recording yourself saying you hate kids and want to murder kids. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make sense. Do you understand?
Who's this old timer on the right?
No belt.
They must be detectives or something, right?
No belt, no nothing. That's my assumption is detectives.
So if there's detectives there,
why is this guy doing the line of questioning, right? Yeah.
You're telling me now that you turned down and you didn't want to kill kids, but now you're saying that you want to kill kids.
Did he ever say he wants to kill them?
Yeah, I mean, he said it in the video multiple times. I don't know that he said it in person, but
he's saying that he knows that he could,
right?
But and he was like, if I was going to do it, this is how I would do it.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
This is.
Who's the 12-year-old in the PD uniform? I know. They're just getting younger.
Just hate kids. Always have,
They brought in a kid to antagonize him.
Well, that's not true.
To antagonize him. Hey, Junior, go ahead and put on this uniform.
There you go.
There's Keith.
We were going to have karaoke tonight.
Yeah, you see?
As Aaron's unnerving laughter lingers, his next words and actions become far too much for officers to ignore.
I saw you guys took the news article off the day. That's nice. I appreciate that. I was a step in the right direction here, but 18 dead in New Hampshire.
What?
Just another mass shooter. You guys got him.
I'm concerned that that's where you're headed, man.
Yeah, I got so many guns. And so many kids to shoot at.
That's what you said.
Well,
and even then, the language he's using isn't specific enough, and you're not going to get enough.
I think you might have enough there.
No, for the emergency detention, 100%. But
yeah,
they had it before this. To be honest,
true.
And I'm not saying don't get as much evidence as you can get. There's nothing that's going to hurt you from discussing it now. But at what point is he going to be placed under arrest? It's effectively an arrest. We treat it like an arrest. It's not, because you're not being charged with anything. But how long do we sit and do this back and forth for the peanut gallery?
Yeah, if they're trying to find criminal charges here, I don't think
I just don't see it. There's nothing criminal. It's creepy and disgusting what he's saying, but there's nothing criminal about it.
You ever done? You never got naked and spread open for somebody? As you go in and as you go out? Try it out sometime. It's fun. Every time you gotta go to the courthouse, you gotta get spread open for everybody. You like that part?
What?
Spread open. Man, I sure love being a strength for you guys.
Officers determine there's enough probable cause to request a warrant for his arrest.
For what?
But first,
For
Aaron
what?
is moved to the back of an ambulance where medical staff perform an assessment.
Back to the lockup psych ward. No, we're gonna go to some other part of the hospital. Secret part where they put needles in you and put needles in kids and strap on the beds. And I love nights in the hospital. They're my favorite. It's almost like you'd rather be homeless.
Oh, but you had a pretty good setup in the nice warm sauna. That's pretty smart.
I know. Kids showed
I wonder if the
that.
sauna
Believe it or
worked.
not.
I can't believe they
That'd be pretty rad if it did.
power was still on in there.
Kids figured it out. I was burning wood in the back, freezing my balls off, and they were like, if you just flip some switches, you'll have a sauna. And I said,
That changed a lot, huh?
man, I was living the dream. I should have just shut up, I guess. You would have left me alone, huh?
100%.
Dang, I'm stupid. I like running my mouth. Man, I had CRJ tomorrow. Last class of probation tomorrow.
I'm sure Dominic will.
You think so?
Yeah, why not?
Hell yeah, dude. That's good news.
I mean, they'd be probably pissed if you just didn't show up, but at least you have an excuse now, right?
Damn it. What's the excuse?
But you're with us.
I was murdering children again? Can't be doing that.
No. People frown upon that, you know?
What if you just, like, talk about it, like in a joke?
Well, it's not a joke that matters. It's like saying bond on an airplane, right?
Oh, like fire in the courthouse?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
It's pretty far from that.
It's not at all. If they're trying to charge him, like, what do you think they're going with? Terroristic threat?
So, and maybe their state laws are a little different, but I feel like the constitutionality of the charge is not.
How is this not covered under the First Amendment?
That's kind of what I'm saying. Not that I agree with what he's saying, but like,
oh, not at all.
You have to have good, solid grounds and probable cause of an offense. So it has to meet the elements of the offense for you to actually arrest him on something. And like,
yeah,
I really thought they were going the emergency
we can
route.
not agree with lots of things and still had to arrest people for it,
bro. All the time.
Did you guys even listen to the whole stand-up? It was 47 minutes long. I did wake up to 75 views. How many people got on the force watching
Yeah,
that?
it wasn't us. I'd say maybe 5 or 6 of those were us.
Oh, man. Well, when I found out you guys were even watching it, I was like, that's nuts, dude. That's nuts that you guys are watching this. All right, what else can I come up with?
Well, I'm glad it's ended the way that they did, so.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, we thought you were inside the school. They got a SWAT team going there and everything, man.
Well, good thing I started recording in the back of the VFW. Holy
Aaron is transported by ambulance to the Lawrence Memorial Hospital in New London, where he's given a mental health evaluation and treatment. By the time he arrives at the police station, he appears to be in no condition to answer questions.
You were in case like a tranquilizer, huh?
God. I need to go lay down if you got a place.
Oh, they medicated him.
Did they, or you think he's just coming down?
Oh, I didn't think about him coming down. I did not think about that. I just want to see what they charge him with.
I would be surprised if they medicated
taken to a jail cell.
He
where
wasn't. He didn't.
sleeps
I
for
mean,
the
unless he
night.
got like super unruly at the hospital.
Really combative or something.
Yeah.
Morning, officers prepare to question him again about his distressing comments, unaware that things will soon take an unexpected turn. For now, Aaron makes an admission about the videos, but it isn't long before he quickly veers off topic.
It's a lie. But that's all right. I was predicating that everything that was going to follow that statement was not true. That's all right. Wasn't aware of that. I know. How so? Yeah, people watching it think it's true.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Oh, it's scary, right?
That becomes scary. And then
What about 9/11? Yeah, like, what about 9/11? Did you think that was true?
True?
True.
Yeah, I thought that was true.
How many people died in 9/11?
Too many. Yeah.
No, how many?
So around 3,000? 5,000? More? 5,000?
You thought it was more than 5,000?
4,000 something?
He was the closest. Yep, just under 2,000. Not including the terrorists. Right, terrorists. And then we all went for weapons of mass destruction after that. They flew a metal tube into 2 buildings, and then you guys told us all we needed to go find weapons of mass
Well,
destruction.
he's not wrong.
I'm about to say, I kind of chuckled that I was like, and somewhere there in the madness, there was a stitch of truth.
When it happened, did you think we were attacked, or you thought we did it?
I was pretty young at the time. Yeah. How old were you?
I was in 5th grade.
Oh, wow.
I remember you were in
Came over here?
I was in 5th grade. I watched it. It's all right classmates.
It's a lot of thoughts for a 5th grader, right?
No, I went to work.
I was in 7th grade.
So I respect that you went to work. I didn't, but I have a lot of respect for anyone who does.
Yeah, no, Sandy Hook happened while I was in Afghanistan, too.
Officers steer the conversation back to his videos, where Aaron finally explains the
I'm
catalyst for
not
his lawsuit.
You want to talk about what happened on Sunday?
I want to.
I'm not down with these guys saying, "Oh, you said it on the internet and people were watching, so they thought it was true."
Well, and that's my issue. Is that I and this is kind of why we're only watching. I'm sorry, Dan, we're subjecting you to this, but I'm waiting.
This is poor investigating.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see where finally I can say, aha, this meets the elements of the offense for something. So
I just don't.
Because they're past the mental portion of this. They did a mental health evaluation, gave him some level of treatment, and kicked him. So now the mental health component to it is solved.
Yeah.
Because if they thought he needed more treatment, they would have held on to him. was a whole different process or whatever. Now this is just an extended detention unless you have an offense.
Yeah, so why did he spend the night in jail?
That's kind of what I'm getting at. Like, this is a weird, I don't know.
You guys caught my court date up to Friday again, and then you all didn't tell me about it. My sister, right? Oh man, yeah, you guys make people concerned. I have to, every time I hear a police siren, you got to go, right? Yep. Thank you. Yeah, you see that? Oh, I can't bring anything with you. Oh.
That's funny.
My bad. Oh no, I did something to concern you. Will you cuff son?
Oh, are we gonna cuff him or no?
What are they doing?
Sorry for pouring that water out like I spilled. I don't think you are. Why would I be sorry about this, John?
What are we doing?
Sorry about this. Put him away.
Detective.
He's dangerous. Nope, stay right there. Let him say it. Let him say it. He's dangerous. Hey, stay right there. What are you gonna block me up?
We don't think you're dangerous to us.
All right, I'm just going to
Yeah, you've been cool with us. Be cool with us, guys.
Where's
Be cool with us. What are you doing? Oh, you've been cool with us.
I'm
Don't
gonna
worry.
skip ahead.
Just to make sure.
So it says actual case footage, so he clearly got charged.
To suggest hypothetical scenarios targeting elementary schools. According to an arrest report along with a press release from the Groton Police Department, 33-year-old Aaron Stanislav was charged with first-degree threatening with a hazard to terrorize.
What?
I don't know what the elements of the offense of that are.
Look at the criminal attempt to escape from custody because he ran out the door in a locked facility.
Also, like...
interfering with a police officer.
Because, like, he was pretty compliant. Like, I've had some people that I've had to chase.
I'm surprised they didn't charge him with assault for dumping the water on the desk.
But, like, handcuff and everything.
Dude.
And it never made the sheet because I was like, I mean, hate the player, not the game. You know, like... I don't know, dog.
Oh, man.
I'm curious to see what the elements of the offense of that are. Chat, help me out with that.
His criminal attempt to escape from custody and interfering with a police officer. His bond was set at $1 million.
What? $1 million.
Which he's going to be indigent for. There's no way. This guy's homeless, you know, like...
$1 million.
I understand that they want to keep their community safe or whatever, but like, let's just say, and they're not used to ambulance chasers and it shows. Let's just say that the race and ethnicity here was a little different, right?
Yeah.
And the news gets a hold of this and an attorney decides, you know what? I feel like I could win this. I feel like I could articulate us, beat the charge, because he probably will, and then go for...
I bet if this happened in La Crosse, Wisconsin...
bro.
His bond would have been like $5,000.
I was going to say, dude.
If they would have even arrested him at all. I'm not saying that he's in the right for saying what he's saying, but I don't see how it
articulate
criminal.
Something. Criminal trespass...
Sure,
in the
that's
school,
great.
Theft of service.
I'm even good with B&E.
Right. I can
I'm good
articulate
with
that. You
I'm
know,
great with that.
Oh, when did this incident occur?
2023 was the body cam.
Yeah, it's.
I think, or was it 21?
Let's see.
Just go to their body cam.
Yes.
Scroll forward a little more.
There it is.
Right there.
120 of 25.
Oh, it just happened.
Yeah. So I don't know, dog. It's just, I mean, I'm going to take points. I'll be honest. It's just a very poor investigation. Like, stick with the facts on hand on what you got, not under some sort of, because they're basically claiming that the victim is society here. But if it was like lewd conduct, it'd be easier to prove because you're like, well, the elements of the offense are clear. You're in a place where somebody could get offended and you're doing nasty shit. Like, that's easier. Hell, breach of peace would have been easier or something like that. But I don't know. And then the $1 million bond, like,
I think you go with burglary and you know, if you really,
you know what the judge
if you can't if you can't get him to an emergency detention, right? If you somehow they got to criminal, but if you really feel like you need to arrest him, you have burglary all day.
Oh yeah, dude. Go the burglary route, and then because at least then you can make him a prohibited person, right? Like if this is your real concern, is you think this guy's a danger, you think he's gonna do something sketch. Well, now he's prohibited, so now he won't pass a NICS check, and now like you have now levers. Make it a probation, like an aspect of his probation that he can't do weird stuff, right?
Yeah.
Then at least you have something. It's a probation violation at that point. You go.
That's crazy.
But that's, I don't know. This one just happened too. 3/9 of 25.
It's a gator.
Oh, it's a big gator. Look at this guy.
That's a big gator.
Which one?
Stop. There's an alligator underneath that car right there.
I'll call.
Don't get mad. You ain't doing nothing to protect her.
Call Diana. Tell her not to come out.
Maybe go around the back.
Bro, her pizza's gonna get cold.
I'm a little scared.
No, as long as it stays under the car.
What do you mean? This is Florida.
The bag.
Aren't y'all used to this?
Do not come out your front door. There's an alligator there.
Oh, well, I don't know how many get your payment.
Someone's going to call maybe, please.
And it's dumb because you can't dispatch these in Florida. You're just stuck with them, basically.
Ma'am, get back over there. There's an alligator right under your car. Oh, my God. Go in the house.
Bro, stop yelling, dog. If she gets bit.
Yeah, why are you mad?
Hey, ma'am, could you...
Oh, jeez.
Oh, my lordy. I saw one when it first moved in.
Get in the house.
Can
What?
he make her? Is he gonna charge her with resisting? Interfere? Is she detained?
My pizza.
I'll take it to the back door. Here's your pizza.
Okay.
Yelling at grandma.
Yeah, how much was it?
I have no idea. I'm not the pizza man.
Oh, well, you're the policeman.
Yes, I'm a policeman. Not a pizza man. You got it?
Yeah,
they called us about the alligator.
rude
Are
as
you
fuck.
expecting change from her?
Well, did she deliver? No, I'm not. They said it was 32 something.
Okay, I'll give this to her so she can leave,
She's
okay?
the one that delivered?
Yeah.
And when was the alligator there?
It just got there.
Oh, I'd like to take a picture of it.
Well, and I wouldn't take it from where you were.
Oh, no.
You can't stop me.
I mean...
He's literally on her property. Being a douchebag.
Oh, at least he took the picture for her. There you go. Some adults arrived. Shout out to them.
Yeah. If we're on a note.
That's...
Cancel. Go down to the
Not to
comments.
come out.
That officer is a saint?
No.
What?
We're not
In
on
what
that.
world?
We're not on that.
He served and protected? No, he yelled like a little kid.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. Like, he wants her to be safe, and I kind of get it. But at the same time, like...
The police officer was a nice guy helping everyone out. Did we watch the same video?
Like, unless you have... They said Lake Placid. Bro.
I wish.
I feel like that movie's better in my memory than it is in real life.
No, it's good. That
Is it
movie
really?
holds up.
I
The
have-
first one.
No,
Don't watch any-
I can't imagine
don't watch
the
any
rest of them are
sequels.
good. Yeah, but I feel like
I mean, the was it a gator or a croc? Whichever one it was, it looks cheesy, like when it comes out of the water. But like the premise of the movie was still pretty good.
I'm gonna take 5 for being rude.
Good.
Unless you have authority, you don't yell at anybody for anything. You have to have lawful.
Also, why are
authority.
you yelling?
Right.
There's no, like.
There's no exigency.
I don't know.
She gets bit. That's on her. I yelled. I said something. Hey, man, there's a gator there.
You could yell and let her know, like, hey, there's a
there.
gator under your car.
If you don't care, you don't care, whatever. But I'm just saying, I don't want you to get bit.
Tonight, an update to one of our small town secrets investigations. The federal government is seizing a former Stoneham police officer's pension to pay back victims owed thousands of dollars. You might remember the disgraced detective's criminal case came in the wake of an NBC 10 investigation, which uncovered a 20-year pattern of evictions and unpaid debts. NBC 10 investigator Ryan Kath broke that story and joins us here in the studio tonight to explain why the feds are going after his money.
Yeah, Glenn, Robert Kennedy avoided prison time for his wire fraud conviction last year, but a judge did order him to pay restitution to a family he ripped off. That hasn't happened, so the government is now going after his taxpayer-funded retirement benefit.
Oh, bro. I don't want to have to give points to feds, but that's kind of mega-based.
The NBC 10
I do like that this is called Small Town Secrets.
You should give points to society.
Oh, you know what?
The only reason, that's the only reason it made it to the feds.
That's fair. I'll do that.
Investigators uncovered Detective Sergeant Robert Kennedy's history of evictions going back 2 decades.
It was very disappointing to believe that, a police officer would do something like that.
More recently, we found Kennedy and his girlfriend racked up more than $50,000 in unpaid rent at 2 different apartment complexes. During that time period, payroll records revealed Kennedy earned more than $500,000 as a Stoneham cop. Why aren't you paying your rent? In the wake of our investigation, Kennedy retired from the police department and was later arrested by the FBI and charged with wire fraud.
How much rent has he paid?
Big zero. He has not paid anything.
The Fed's case focused on what happened to Peter Goldstein and his wife Artie, who rented to the detective after they said he provided a business card to build trust, then bounced 2 checks and used a family member's social security number to score a clean credit.
Yikes.
So this guy's just doing mad fraud.
Legit fraud.
Because you don't it's one thing if you're a number off on your social on a form, still sus. But when it's your family member's number, exactly, you're clearly, knowingly, and intentionally committing fraud.
Report.
Court-appointed special process server.
It took the couple 7 months to finally evict the police officer who'd been living at their property rent-free.
He knew the system. He was very good. He's a maestro at what he did.
At sentencing, the federal judge ordered Kennedy to pay $14,000 in restitution, and inside court, the disgraced officer promised, "I will make this right."
It feels like he really had no intention of making.
You avoided criminal charges. No, you're not.
This right or paying us back.
Goldstein telling me about how Kennedy paid about $300 shortly after the conviction, but for the past year, the payments have stopped. That deadbeat status prompting the feds to get a judge to approve seizing a portion of his pension until the restitution is paid. As hard as it's been to
it's garnishment. I mean, same thing for unpaid child support. Same thing for.
I was just about to say, let's keep that same energy for unpaid child support.
Yeah, Doug.
Because it sucks that your rent didn't get paid, but
yeah, dude.
Come on.
Goldstein is still proud of the role he played to put this small town secret out in the public eye.
We are happy that we were able to bring it to a close to stop the behavior. But he was preying on the community, and we're happy that we were able to stop that.
By one Kennedy kept his monthly pension of about $5,000 because the retirement board ruled there was not a direct connection between the crime and his job as a detective. Kennedy is currently decertified as a police officer in Massachusetts, meaning he can't work for any other law enforcement agency.
Oh my
Shout out to admin for decertifying.
So he got away with it.
He 1,000% got away with it. Okay, so I'm gonna say we're gonna take.
Of course, he was a detective.
We're gonna give points to society, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna take points from. Was he a deputy? I think he was a police officer. Hold on.
An update to one of our small town secrets investigations.
Police
the federal
detective.
Yeah, it just says police detective.
I'll take 15. That was a particularly scummy thing to do. I'm just shocked that didn't come up sooner. This guy's over here just straight up bro, your credit score can't go down without your department being yo, dog, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
If it's a small department, you think they're really
I didn't think about that.
Paying attention?
I didn't think about that. So I'm not giving points to feds because I can avoid it because I gave it to society. But I will give
I think you need to take some points from judges.
We'll take, dude, 100%. That's literally we'll take some points from judges, and I'm going to give some to admin for decertifying him.
That's fine. That's
I'm
fair
okay with that because at least they did something. Now that, and this is why a lot of people will give grief to Texas about being a right to work state and not allowing for unions, but it's because of unions that some BS like that happens, where they're going to be like, hey, well, we're going to threaten to strike if you don't like help out a homie. And you're like, nah, dog, like this is a textbook example of misconduct. And you're going to somehow like try to back that guy. Like,
also, how do you say it's not related to his job as a detective? Like,
right.
He had a salary. He refused to use that salary to pay his rent that I'm sure he was in a legal contract.
Yes.
Like,
and just because he got off on the fraud charge doesn't mean it's not conduct unbecoming. You know,
Millennial, I'm putting it on the judge because we don't have a defense attorney.
Yeah, it just like the judge gets to decide whether it meets the preponderance of the evidence. That's what we're getting at. I don't care how cool Johnny Cochran, that defense attorney, was. You know, like
Yeah.
I have beef.
I don't understand. Like, must be a damn good union because like, here's your salary. What are you supposed to use your salary for?
To pay your
legal obligations, right?
Yeah. Like,
And if you're renting from someone, you're in a contract that should be legally binding.
And if it was like
I don't
your
know.
kid that you co-signed an apartment on jumped it, that's different, right? Because then it's like, well, yes, it's tied to me, but like it wasn't my conduct directly.
It's a little different. But
Same thing, like your kid, you co-signed for your kid on a car, kid like doesn't pay the car, and the car's got to get repoed. Like that's different. Because
and then it hits you, it affects your credit and all that.
But there's
like,
clearly a like delineation that can be made, reports can be made. You can have a very transparent conversation with your police department and they'll be fine with it. But if it's you doing it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Maybe if you had like crazy medical bills or something like that.
Maybe.
But then you would have had that conversation with the bank. You would have had that conversation with the lender. And likely the people that you're doing, like you're paying rent to, and say, hey, I ran into medical bills. I can't afford this. What do we do? And there's clauses in the contract for that kind of stuff. But you just have to be transparent about it.
And also, if that's the case, like maybe they work with you, maybe you paid like
a portion
some
of it,
substitute
something.
amount of rent, but he paid nothing.
Yeah. He just straight up jumped on it. And it's upsetting to me because like you see it happen, like there is no debtor's prison, which I'm okay with in America. I'm glad that's the case. But like this often gets abused a lot. And that's upsetting because somebody's out.
Yeah.
These aren't police officers or soldiers.
They're business owners, their fathers, their sons.
Oh, it's the boonie
They're
hat
LARPing.
for me. It is the boonie hat for me.
They're LARPing, my friend. I like the wide receiver gloves.
I also love that she's got her lashes on. I can't pass any judgment because you female officers that are out there. I tell you that one time I made fun of one of our. You might have been there. I was like, "Did you just put in lip filler?"
I
Did
was
someone
there.
punch you in the mouth?
I was there.
Hold on.
It's my lip gloss. It's lip.
And I was
lip
like,
plumping lip
girlfriend.
gloss.
I was
Okay.
like, girlfriend.
All right.
Come on now.
Sweet. Yeah. Cool.
These are civilians, members of the Lincoln Heights Safety and Watch Program.
It's a duty. Okay, let's go.
The duty, protecting their neighborhood, the majority black village of Lincoln Heights, Ohio. After neo-Nazis held a rally here last month, carrying rifles, waving swastikas.
This looks a little too organized. We're feds. Hold on.
Like all of the recent.
This is a psyop. Every time it's disorganized, I'm like, dog, for real. You remember Summer of Love, the brick,
Yes.
the brick
Yep.
pallets? You were like,
oh
"Ooh."
yeah.
I'm like, who's paying
Yeah.
freight for bricks? Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
It's just a construction nearby.
Yeah.
We just
And
left our
hurling
pallet
racial
of bricks
slurs
here.
just moments before children were let out of school. At the time, law enforcement.
Oh, they came in a U-Haul truck?
Oh my god.
For sure. I'm sure they all live there, right?
Hey, at least they casted this well. They went.
But
to
you
the
know
feds,
what?
like,
You know what sucks? They're not going to jail like the old buddy in the other video.
right.
What's the difference?
Yeah, this is because this is a much more egregious I could go.
This is a group of people
blocking an easement, right?
Well, kind of. They're on the sidewalk.
Potentially. Well, that's what I'm saying. But if they're just standing on the sidewalk and not allowing, like, there's kids that need to cross it, and they're like basically occupying it,
I think you'd have a tough time with that one.
It's a reach.
It's a strong reach.
But I feel pretty good being like, when I go to the judge, I'm like, look, I was just trying to keep the peace. You could also go under on a lot of times when you look at like breach of peace or like disorderly conduct.
Yeah.
It's things being said that will clearly cause alarm or offense or whatever in a public place with people to get offended. It's not on the internet. It's not in the comment section somewhere. This is being done actively in front of people. I would have totally tried. Now, am I asking a sergeant? Probably a lieutenant, likely a captain if they're on duty before you're doing all that? Yes, because this is going to be a huge stretch of your authority. But you're not going to make this spectacle in my city while I'm here. I'm here for it. This is your job. Keep the peace.
Officials said the neo-Nazis did not break any laws, but an investigation by county prosecutors is ongoing.
Also, as a city, I would just make a city ordinance. Hey, cannot preach against racial bias or something stupid like that. You could find a way that the state would let you do it.
Weeks later,
Maybe.
the KKK
Still tough,
with
though.
these flyers.
Leave now or self-deport. What the fuck?
First African-American community above the Mason-Dixon line of staff.
Safety and Watch Group spokesperson Durrance Daniels says the police did not do enough, which was more chilling because the town was founded in the 1920s as a safe haven for black residents.
Lincoln Heights is our home. If somebody broke into your home, you call the police, and the police says, you know, if they do it again, we haven't broken any law, so we're just going to allow them to break into your home again. What would you do?
Are you worried at all that?
That's very different. You can't.
That's burglary. That's burglary.
You can't compare burglary to standing on the sidewalk.
However,
saying mean things.
If a white supremacist group is allowed to do whatever form of protest that they want to do, and the police department's going to take the stance that they're not breaking any laws that we can articulate or that we feel comfortable enforcing, more power to you. You know, go do your thing. Because at the very least, you're going to put pressure on them to make a decision. But you can't
just say you came into our city, so you broke into our house.
1,000%. The analogy's stupid, but the idea behind it, I have no beef with them. Counter protesting as armed people.
I think Thumbelina is drunk. She's having a real hard time spelling tonight.
She looks like I'm typing.
Having a potentially armed response could just create more friction, create more danger.
No, nah.
I'll answer that.
Negative. I disagree with that.
Yeah, if violent, and I'm curious to see what he has to say about it, so I'm going to let it play. But if violence is going to occur, and I'm a stakeholder in that neighborhood, right, or that area, I want the means to protect myself, right?
Yeah. By saying, I've never felt safer as a black man in my community than I have right now.
The mayor of Evendale, which oversees the police force that responded that day, said in a statement to NBC News, "Our emphasis on de-escalation and public safety resulted in the incident's resolution without injuries to any of the persons involved."
That was helped by the legal team.
Yeah.
He is correct, but I do think you work for your constituency, and you need to do whatever your constituency want within the bounds of the law, right, to make them feel safe.
You got to find something better than Than they said some things we don't like.
Did they apply for a permit to do a protest or a whatever, right? Any of that stuff.
Do they need one on the sidewalk?
Probably not on the sidewalk, to be honest. The
Nope,
sidewalk,
I don't think they do.
Yeah. And they were probably very strategic about it. But I
guarantee you, if they showed up in a U-Haul, they looked at all the city ordinances and the laws. I doubt they're even from that state.
But to be honest, they're 100% not from there. They're clearly, they found the most ethnically black area that they could, and they decided to protest there, right? I would really good example of this. It's awful what ended up happening during the time, but when the Dallas 5 occurred, BLM decided to host a protest there, right?
Yep.
And DPD was just like, as long as y'all are cool, I'm good with it. All they did was provide an escort. It was literally all they did. They said, where do you want to go? Let's do a plan so that I'm not pissing off people trying to like get home and stuff like that. And that this doesn't get out of hand while we're not there. Right. And they had the manpower. DPD had the man at the time. They had the manpower to do it.
Yeah.
But here, if that's the case, and this is their plan, and my stance as a police department is, hey, I'm not going to get involved with things that have to deal with the freedom of speech, right? This is all First Amendment stuff. And then in their instance, there's some Second Amendment stuff, especially in the South where you have constitutional carry likely where they're at. I'd just say, hey, if you just guys want to give us a plan, we'll give you...
This is Ohio.
Well, then this is way more complicated. Oh, this is Ohio.
But residents here say they can't afford to wait. Every day, the Safety and Watch group escorts children to school and patrols the streets.
Why do you all wear masks?
Those Nazis, we have reports of them finding our backgrounds, so we're not hiding ourselves from the residents, but we're protecting our family from what we're doing out here.
While many locals do support the security.
Oh my God, this is top tier. You know what? Game respects game. If you're going to support anybody, you're like, hey, dog, you got people volunteering to come over here and square up to white supremacy.
I mean, I support
I respect the
Safety and Watch group. I do. But I also have to support the First Amendment.
Yes.
No matter what it
The
says.
group, some, like business owner Eric Ruffin, say they wish the group wasn't needed.
We don't want to become what we hate. You know, we don't want to become a group of people that walk around feeling like we have a reason in America to have to protect ourselves.
And this community
Stand up.
Stand up.
is
Everyone
not
should be able
backing
to
down.
protect themselves reasonably.
Yeah. Oh, I got to send him for this pistol, though. Oh, he at least went proper rifle length here. This is, can do a pistol, do it right.
Morgan Radford, NBC News, Lincoln Heights, Ohio.
Thanks for watching. Stay on.
What a wild time.
I mean, good for them at least. Like at least
the
community came together to do something about it.
I am gonna give them 5 points because no one got hurt and they weren't they weren't like I refuse to comment. They produced a comment with their policy and what they plan to do. That discussion's gonna happen on the off chance, but they didn't step on anybody's. They didn't try to stretch the law. They weren't doing what the other guys were where I was like, oh, I don't know that you got PC for that. And I was reaching for a stretch there on that. But again, we're going to have the discussion, right? Like, I'm not just going off and doing it. I'd be like, hey, this is what I think I got. Whatever. What do you think?
It's probably going to get shut down.
Well, and again, a supervisor, an intelligent person like Bill.
Because then that's going to turn into a bigger thing.
Right.
Now you're probably going to get bigger
Lawsuits
protests.
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Where like you put up with it for an hour, whatever.
Yeah.
And they move on.
Yep.
And you don't give them any reaction.
Right.
I mean, that's literally what they do this shit for. It's for a reaction, so they can try and film it.
I think it was a very shrewd response from the police department, I think.
Yeah.
And I do think that as long as they're meeting, again, the community response to that with the same energy, you're like, hey, dog, it's America. It's a free country. You can do what you want.
Yep.
Then that's mega.
I mean, also, like, hopefully this watch group starts going to community meetings or whatever they need to.
Dude.
Like,
if
you want to see change, that's where it starts.
Yeah, if they could start to go and mobilize for voting changes, maybe they can go do stuff like that where they can go and promote whatever it is they're wanting to promote for safety. I'm all for it, but it is a weird. We live in a weird time. Near school where children makes me more supportive. Yeah, if they did it,
they
right
were on
next
an
to a school,
overpass.
I'm wondering because again, they would have also picked the geographic area very.
The watch group was by the school.
Yeah,
but the videos we saw from the protest was on an overpass.
Yeah. So I'd be curious to see where all that stuff was and kind of what they're doing, but it is what it is.
Do not look down. Close your eyes. Here it comes.
What a bad time. You
The
will not
worst
catch me
time.
doing this ever.
The worst time.
Reaction.
Just that? Just over the eyebrows?
I'm jealous.
That's
we
it?
We got the cross. And
Sure did.
That was a
And we
bad
had
time.
to sweat beforehand.
Yeah, dude. Hey, shout out to this tattoo policy though.
Yeah, where is this?
Get back! 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 End the fight now! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back! Show me your hands! Get back! Show me your hands!
Great training.
Get back! Get back! Show me your hands! Get back! Show me your hands! Come on! Come on! Get down! Get back! Get back! Get back! In there! Get back! Get back! Get back! Get back!
Hashtag fun? I don't think so, my friend.
Yeah, it's not a good time.
Turn around! Show me your hands! Run! Go!
Oh, good on them. That wasn't too bad.
Turn around! Put your hands behind your back! Conversation with staff! Conversation with guys! Do not move! You understand?
My boy's got to work on that shoulders. Shoulders are tight.
Back off for your
Also, can my brother have more keepers? My brother's got 3 in one spot.
Back off required. Call it in.
It's just kind of weird to point a gun at a handcuffed person, but I'm here. Old timers getting after it.
Request backup in the EMS code 3. Backup spray. Send them code 3. I'll do the spray.
Good on them. So I do like seeing it. They're at least making them give commands and stuff like that. They want to see that your prefrontal cortex is staying engaged, right? And this is kind of the whole point of the exercise. Is one, OC is miserable, but that you're still able. They made us do. We had to do get up in bases before, got sprayed, did get up in bases again, did the use of force continuum, like call out to describe it. Then did weapon retention. Then did what was the other one? I think we had to do it again.
We had to do some. We had to like point and command someone to the ground and then handcuff them while they were on the ground.
Yeah, we had to prone them out, and you actually had to see. It was from like 20 feet away. You had to see if they had a knife or a gun, which is a 50-50 shot. I remember barely seeing that. I like literally had to physically open my eye. It's a good time. I guess shout out to them. This is better than what I've seen in some police departments where they just kind of spray you and let you scream there for a second. He also handled it a lot better than you remember.
Yes.
Freddy's. I'll dox him. It's fine.
Police search warrant! Come to the door!
Innocent families from Ohio
Ohio's just out here taking L's.
to Missouri,
I just don't understand how they could confuse the addresses.
Kansas,
Guns drawn. There's about 15 cop cars. They're all hiding behind the doors with the guns pointed at my house. They literally came here
What are these swatting calls?
on a whim thinking that.
No, I think they
FBI raid.
Doing bad, like they're getting the wrong address.
I killed someone.
She and her boyfriend were held in cuffs for an hour before police finally let them go.
Georgia,
I remember this one. This one was particularly egregious.
and this home in Atlanta.
I don't feel as if any kid should go through what I went through.
1 second, you're sound asleep. The next second, the FBI is in your bedroom.
1 second I'm asleep, next thing I know, I have a gun pointed in my face.
Gabe Watson was just 7 years old in 2017 when the FBI raided the wrong house in the middle of the night. Did you scream out for your mom? What did you do?
I was actually crying for my mom. I was just crying, hiding my blankets, putting my hands in the air.
I would fight a lion with my bare hands to protect my child. And the thought of me not being able to get to him, that's the most devastating. As a parent, when you can't protect your child, it's the most devastating feeling ever. In my mind, it was just like, whoever this is, they're coming in to kill us.
Was your hand on the gun or close to it? At this point, my hand was on the door because they're pulling on the door. The guns is right here, right at my side.
And I was just right here like, please, can I get my son? Can I get my son? And he kept telling me to be quiet, shut up. And I look up, it's such a flashing light, and I just see SWAT. I'm like, it can't be SWAT, it can't be SWAT.
Throw me down on the ground, on the floor right here. I was saying to myself, oh my God, I believe they got the wrong house.
The street. This footage from Atlanta police securing the perimeter is the only video of the raid. You can see the FBI SWAT team walking out of the Martin.
Yeah, I really think you should not be allowed to execute a warrant without a body cam, in my personal opinion.
True.
Like, you should not be in a capacity to use force against the public without a body cam. It's like, you don't see anybody demanding the body cams out of the military because they're oppressing somebody else. That's a they problem.
Yeah.
That's a U.S. government issue and whether or not they're doing the right thing by that. And I can understand some of the national security risks for some of that stuff, so I get it. But here, like stateside, like where you're the one paying the bill for people to run around and have jump out boys money, you know? I don't know, dog.
Home.
And
the
the
wrong
FBI.
address clearly visible on the mailbox by the police cars.
Moving down the road. They said we're moving down the road.
So we're not holding perimeter for them while they search?
They said they're moving down the road.
The agents went to the next block and raided the house that was on the original warrant.
Stupid! It's
So
in
they
an
didn't-
intersection.
So they didn't.
Sorry for everybody that had a headset.
They didn't put the wrong house on the warrant. They showed up at the wrong house.
In the day and age of GPS, there's no excuse.
Also, how did Atlanta police not catch that?
Not
They
be like,
didn't get the address for the
like,
warrant.
Before we jump out, boy, you know, let's make sure we're going to the right. I have responded to the wrong area because we didn't have a good address, right? Like, let's say they said just somewhere in this intersection. I've run around like a chicken with my head cut off looking for a call before. I remember like early in my rookie career, just seeing flashing lights and following those and thinking I was doing the right thing, right? But like, especially if I was going to a place where I was going to like force entry or, you know what I mean? Show up with my gun out. Never once. And I don't get near the amount of planning time or organization time or oversight that these guys get. Like, it's like a 15-person team. And not a single person was like, we're at 1508 OnlyCops Drive, right? And they're like,
yeah.
What? You know, like, I don't know.
Warrant. Your door was off the hinges, right?
It was.
You had no way to secure your home that night.
I spent the night on the couch facing that door because it was open.
And you had no idea what was coming next.
Didn't have any idea what was coming next.
So they knocked the door down, and yes, it was a shocking experience, but in the end, no one was hurt, and it didn't really cost you anything. What has this cost you?
This costed me my childhood, you know?
Let's go, bro. Get that money.
This is the FBI photo of the target house from earlier surveillance. And this is the Martins house the FBI SWAT team photographed the day before the raid. You went to court, and the court ruled in favor of the FBI.
Yes.
And then you went to the appeals
Of course
court,
they did.
and the appeals court ruled in favor of the FBI.
Yes.
And now we've gone all the way to the U.S.
How can
Supreme
you rule
Court,
in favor
and
of the
they've taken
FBI?
It like
The
there's
warrant, they served a warrant
at the
on
wrong place.
a house that wasn't on the warrant address.
How did they not just pay this out? Like, you got, oop, my bad. Hit the insurance policy, give a bunch of people some pee-pee wax for being idiots, and then move on. Because they could have easily settled this before court costs and all this other BS. Look, we fucked up. We get it. Right? Here's 100 G's.
Like if
let's
they
call
had
it a day.
if they had bad intelligence and
That's
like
different.
the warrant was truly written for that house,
Right. That's different.
I can see where
that
you
is
maybe,
reasonable.
yeah, you maybe have an argument, but to go to the wrong address,
Or a swatting call where I'm tying it to a
Yeah.
criminal offense. And I'm like, hey,
Yeah.
these guys gave us terrible information. They lied, literally.
Yeah.
So then I'm prosecuting that. Right? I'm going to pay for the damages. We're going to give you a my bad because we assumed that you guys were dying. So we showed up like you want us to, right? We didn't pull a Uvalde. We showed up. But like, I don't know, dog. That's what
They've taken the case.
Yeah, you go, girl.
They take the case. And then I just think about my son. He's 7, and just the trauma he went through, and just for finally somebody just to hear us out, just hear us.
Just 4 months after the
also they've
Martin
been at
family
this
raid.
for what?
This house?
Oh, years now.
7 to 10 years. It sounds like.
Yeah, dude.
Just 2 counties away.
This is so good.
A Henry County SWAT team raided the wrong house and detained the innocent 78-year-old homeowner.
Show me your hands! Get on the ground! Get on the ground now!
Just
like, what?
Like the FBI raid at the
Probably
Martins.
can't hear.
Stand by, stand by, stand
The SWAT team relied on directions from the GPS on an agent's phone.
Missed it.
And the
If it's within jurisdiction for you, you should have a tactical map. That place, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you're writing
That
a
place?
warrant,
You know what I mean?
if you're writing a warrant, how do you not have?
You've already done surveillance, dude. Like, bro, we'll get a 911 call. Some lady's running through an apartment complex covered in blood and screaming. That's as good of the information as we'll get. And somehow magically, we can find it. We find it without GPS or anything. Bro, I have zero sympathy for these guys. These guys are idiots.
The same federal appeals court in Atlanta ruled the police could not be sued.
After this happened to your family, it has happened to family and family and family.
And we're just sitting back shaking our heads like, when is it going to stop? And hopefully we are the ones that'll help to make that change. You know, we can't do anything about what happened to us, but we can stop it, hopefully, from happening to someone else.
Mega based, because that's expensive. Like, they're having to eat legal costs. They're having to be in a situation. Honestly, with that complicit of a court system, I'd be worried about retaliation.
I would hope there's a lawyer
Shout out to society.
out there
Which is going to take it. Hell yeah.
Yeah. Like trying to take on the government.
I'm going to give society great. That's pretty good points. And the judges, we're going to take some points there. And feds. We can take some money from the feds. Let's go. I'm gonna take a lot. That's pretty bad. Just take the boo-boo. You know, like, it's not complicated. Can we just make Florida as a whole half points? I saw police. This is why I'm like encouraging half points.
Orlando International Airport.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yikes.
Hey, look at everybody here though. Everybody here looks good so far.
Because I think these are actual cops, not airport cops.
Oh, even Chelsea here looks squared away.
I got it on camera.
Bro, somebody's shoving you like that, and you're not leg sweeping and attitude adjusting. Let's.
Bro, the title alone. Also, what is this?
This is gonna be somebody's little avatar in the Discord. It's a little creepy. What do you want to name him?
You're the one that names cats.
Officer Whiskers. Oh, he's Sergeant.
I mean, sure.
Sergeant Scratch.
Are you guys gonna close on?
I'll let you have this one.
He uses it to do the dialogue. Oh, what is this channel? Hey, they got almost 50K subs. Shout out to him. Cop Cam video.
Really? This is the first time we've seen it.
Ever. Yeah, because I had recognized it.
That's a lot of subs.
Yeah. Canceled due to inclement weather prompting. Yeah, sure. That's going to happen.
Does Spirit give you that kind of service, though?
Well, so my understanding of it is if they don't fulfill like the
on like American Delta and United,
right.
yes.
It is Spirit. Ooh. I'd be curious to see what their policy is.
Yeah, what's their policy on this?
Listen, everybody's trying to act like I'll be on the road. We're closed now. I am so oh, please, son. Hey, I got it on camera.
This guy's an idiot. That I could constitute as assault on a peace officer.
Yeah.
Enough. Get up. Give me your hand. Give me your hand.
Great body cam. Oh, I think he's censoring that.
That might be. Because it does look kind of cropped, right?
It's great technique here. You got him in a little figure four. No punches. No tasers.
170 going. Do you have anything?
That sounds like handcuffing.
Give another cuff.
They double cuffed because his shoulders are too big. They're not flexible enough. Old timers. A lot of breath here. Is this a Spirit Airlines employee?
It's hard to tell, right? Because like they've got.
This is incredible, bro. Chelsea out here helping. Yeah, because she's got no patch, no nothing.
Yep.
Bro.
It sure is.
I wonder if she's undercover or if
You come behind that counter though, and they're not going to treat you very well.
Bro. It's like the Waffle House of airlines, you know, like FAFO if you're going to decide to body an airport employee.
Let me go.
You got it. I believe you.
Imagine getting arrested over this.
It's a purely civil thing. Is it annoying? Yes. Is it going to really?
Yeah, but you're mad. You're mad because you're stuck there, and now you're really stuck there, and you're going to have to go back for court.
That's what I mean, because this is going to be assault on a peace officer, likely some sort of terroristic threat thing, because it's like it's happening in an airport, which is like a secured area, so it's going to be an enhancement. Dog, what?
What's wrong with you guys? My leg is broken. Stand up. I'ma stand up. My leg broken.
Well,
what's wrong with you guys?
To be fair,
he attacked you and he's hurt. How dare you?
If I rewind it to here, you did the equivalent of on the chart of fuck around and find out. You hit the bell curve.
Yeah.
Stand up. My fucking leg. Stand up. My leg is broken, jackass. How the fuck I'm gonna stand up? My leg broke. Hang up, guys.
Transported to local hospital, concluded that his leg was unharmed and showed no signs.
No way. No way.
That's pretty savage.
Oh, there's no way.
You did interfere with an arrest at that point. That was
Sure
assault
did.
on a peace officer. You got involved. Notice there's nobody else here getting involved. Why is nobody else being handled by law enforcement?
Not yet.
They're in the same situation you're in, where you couldn't get your flight or whatever. But I wonder, this happens a lot where people will take like Valium or get a little tipsy before they get on a plane because they're nervous flyers, and then they do stuff.
Well, you know,
like this.
alcohol doesn't count in an airport. It's like a special little area
It's like
where it doesn't count.
Hotels, as long as you're a guest, you can have much liquor and beer or whatever you want.
Yep.
I'm doing this. Wow. You a black man out here doing this? Hold on, China, man.
What does that have to do with anything?
I was gonna say. Everybody else here, dog.
He's just supposed to ignore crime?
Yes.
I'm going.
I'm gonna see. I'm just gonna fast forward.
Let her go, man. My son over there. Stop yelling at her.
Your son's probably going to see
Man, y'all got it on record. Thank you, please. 216-370-83.
The bike.
Well, that's kind of clever. She gave her phone number out so she could get the forwarded video. Well, that's pretty clever. You will have evidence of your crime.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Lots of cameras around here.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Don't have no camera. Thank you. She tried to be in the hospital.
Bro, everybody here is looking good. Everybody here is
It's
stacked.
Florida, dude. You got to. It's summer all year round.
I'll tell you what. Oh boy in the hat here is not the one. You want to square up to. Out there's a big boy. Golly. This guy too. That sergeant's patch just barely holding on.
Attempted murder, too.
Oh, it is not attempted murder. You need to calm down.
Calm down.
You choked me out. A liar, and then you pass out. You a liar.
You need to calm down.
In the beginning, bro.
Okay, I take everything back from what I said about you.
No, it's going more than that. And then further. Yeah.
It's gonna be.
You can do whatever you can go. What you want, bro. I ate that first of all. So. Alright, that was this guy.
Give him a chair.
They're probably waiting for a golf cart.
First here.
One of those airport carts.
I saw that. And I was like, bro, and I pushed his hand away. Right. And he had touch me. He hit me. And they're like, bro, do not do that.
Right.
I was like,
documented.
attempted murder charge. So.
No, you're not gonna get attempted murder. You're an idiot. No. Is there something I'm missing?
He broke his leg.
Can we get in this position? Let's see if we get full points.
Shall we see if she has a new number yet? Imagine putting your phone number on the internet like
Hey,
that.
dog. Y'all don't be calling that phone number. It'll be weird. Let's see if they gave a disposition here.
What are the charges? Attempted murder of a police officer.
That's gonna get
interesting.
dropped in half a second. I'll buy the battery. I'll also buy resisting with violence
And disorderly conduct.
Yeah,
all three.
I'll buy
Great.
those charges, but this is
That's great.
That's not sticking.
They were placed on a no-fly list.
You don't say.
Damn.
Bro, I bet so that you'd be shocked at what'll land you on that. Even just giving lip to TSA, you're gone, dude.
Have fun driving home to Ohio.
Yeah, dude. You know what? Shout out to.
Also, imagine living in Ohio, traveling. Go back up. What was the date? Of the
6/27/23.
Oh, it was June.
Yeah.
The weather shouldn't have been that bad.
No. Great description. Solid. There you go.
All right,
Give
that's
them
it
some
for
love.
me.
Okay. Bill, sign out. I love you.
Bye.
Hey, you're we have a plan, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't tell him.
Okay, I'm not. Just the plan's happening though, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll
We'll talk
text
more
you.
about
I was
it.
about to say we'll text.
Yeah. We'll talk more about it.
I love you. I miss you. Oh, I got to change my OBS.
I know.
It's about
I
to
love you
ride
too.
solo here.
You sure
Yes.
are.
Tell
Just for
Bill-
tonight. I'll be back on Thursday.
Yeah, tell Bill. Everybody tell Bill that y'all love him. Okay. Bye, Pet Maggie.
I
for
love
me.
some of you.
Not Trigger, just Maggie.
Trigger's staring at me right now. Looking like he's gonna jump up here.
A little predator.
I think he saw your face and he got excited.
He goes, a little lipstick.
Maggie's
trying
on
to
the
come
other
out.
side.
Trigger, a little rapist.
All right, I'll see you on Thursday.
Bye.
Bye.
He's gonna be stuck with me yapping now. There we go. I am now riding solo. The plan, you guys will know about it later. I got a couple of these to go through. We'll see. I got to give PD points. I'm not gonna give him too many points because that was a bad charge, but the rest of them were good. And then society for that bit of nonsense. And then suspects for faking injuries and starting fights. They were not prepared to finish. Only cop now, yes.
The Dubuque County Sheriff says a newly hired deputy has resigned following public scrutiny. Matt Potoff was accused of sexual abuse in 2017.
Oh, I already covered this. Dupe! Where's vigilantes? Oh, is this it? Hold on. Before I kick off this video, is this an update? Or should I skip it? I'll give vigilantes a solid admin for shitty airlines. They were flying Spirit. They should have known what they were signing up for. Let's be weird. Not a dupe. It's an update. All right, Django. We're on the update.
He was 17 years old. He was never convicted, and the charges were dismissed. The sheriff's office apologized for any concerns brought by the public or for any negative attention generated.
That's rich coming from you, Jacob.
By this story. Earlier this week, Sheriff Joe Kennedy discussed the process of hiring Potoff before he resigned.
When we were doing his background and we spoke to his previous employer to hear, they were very happy with the work that he did. The Sheriff's Office was not involved in the investigation of that crime. That was investigated by an outside agency, and the prosecution was conducted by an agency outside of Dubuque County. So, you know, to say that there was any cover-up...
Covered this either last stream or the stream before that.
Of that case or anything, no.
A lawyer for the Potoff family released a statement on the matter. That statement reads in part, quote, "The dismissal of these charges reaffirms our confidence in the system's ability to fairly and accurately determine the truth and serve justice." We have more information on this story on our website.
Was not an update. Where's chat? We're losing points, chat. Look at y'all. Y'all can afford them. Vigilantes. I'm teasing. I'll take 5. I'm not live now. Wow. Darth, I'm still live. We're all still live. Misty Gray. I really dislike AI. After the rookie episode. Yeah, dude. AI is... I'm glad there is some level of police accountability that's trying to happen in those circles, but I really think it should be a third party. Kind of similar to the way when an OIS happens, typically like in Texas at least, like the state troopers will come in. They won't even let county touch it because we might have a relationship with that county police department. The troopers will typically come in and they'll take over it because they don't have any relationship with us at all. And so it keeps there from being a conflict of interest. And vice versa. If there's a trooper involved, the municipality will pick it up if it happened in their jurisdiction, or the county guys will pick it up. It's just a better way to conduct business because you should never be investigating yourself.
Huh?
That's incredible. I'm here for it. He's literally going code. Mega based. He's going code to a call, and you're being a douchebag. Where's that at? State Boys? Here, let me see if I can find the little... I don't know that I have... I cannot get the...
Mr. Pancake, you're under arrest!
That's the furthest down I could go on the soundboard. But I will give State Boys some points for that. We will give them 10 points for doing it. And then I'm going to take some from society from getting in the way. This guy's clearly going code. Please get over. Because he might be going to an emergency domestic where somebody's kid's getting harmed, or there's a helpless victim getting harmed, and you're getting in the way. For your joyride. That was CHP, which they can get away with that. Considering we watch hundreds of videos a month, there's rarely dupes that can track. You know what? Here. There you go. There's for the hard work. I'll give some points back. We do watch. I would argue we're in the thousands at this point. We watch a lot of videos. There's the recent dupe.
Yeah, I don't break the law. I know who he is.
You know who you looking for?
Who you get loud with?
Who you looking for?
You gonna find out who I am?
Find out nothing.
Shit, you
hey,
want,
come
I'll
on,
tell you what
man.
Hey, whoa. Jerry Reason with a date of birth of 96.
Now I'm born in 72. Look at me. I'm 32 years old.
Then you should have stayed calm. We had a lawful right to detain him.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. On September 12th of 2024, Jerry was leaving his home but stopped at the end of his driveway to pick up the mail when 4 deputies of the Robertson County Sheriff's Office in Tennessee pulled into his driveway, blocking him in. The lead vehicle, occupied by Deputy Horton, was playing the theme song to the cops' TV.
Should have stayed calm. We had a lawful right to detain him.
Welcome back to the Lackluster channel. On September 12th of 2024, Jerry was leaving his home but stopped at the end of his driveway to pick up the mail when 4 deputies of the Robertson County
Is this just
Sheriff's Office in Tennessee pulled into his driveway.
Oh, I read agriculture. I was like, how are they tied to agriculture doing police-related stuff. That's weird.
Blocking him in, the lead vehicle,
These are just
occupied by
deputies.
Deputy Horton, was playing the theme song to the Cops TV show as he arrived.
That's not criminal or bad conduct.
Yeah. Where's your son?
He's in jail.
Where?
Robertson County. You want to bet?
He's not there.
My son is in jail in Robertson County.
All right, hang
Do you
tight.
know who you talking to, sir?
Yeah, you remember I came out here last time.
You don't know who I am.
All right, get out the car. Get out the car.
I am gonna get help.
Yeah.
So is this like a warrant service, or is this like an investigative stop? Like, just curious what this stop is for, and detention. Maybe he doesn't know.
Yeah,
You know who I am.
Yeah, you don't know who I am, but
My
you
name is Jerry Lee Reason Jr. This is my property.
Okay, but you're
My
not.
son is in Robertson County jail.
He's not in Robertson County jail.
My son is Zachary Christian Lee Reason. Go check.
Okay,
I know who he is.
You know who you looking for?
Who you getting loud with?
Who you looking
You gonna find?
I mean, he's escalated this a lot. This guy, though being in his feelings, he hasn't made any threats. I mean, he's yelling. I'd be annoyed too if a bunch of cops just rolled up while I was leaving my house.
I ain't find out nothing.
Okay.
Hey, calm down.
He need to calm down. Get off my property,
hey,
man.
listen.
Okay.
We have a lawful reason to be here.
Good.
We're going to be here.
Good. Call your supervisor.
Calm down. I
He's
am
right
the
there.
supervisor.
Okay, good. What do you need, sir?
We have a warrant for arrest, and we
For?
are here to
Start
check
ahead
this
walking
house.
that way.
For?
Who's it on?
Jerry Reason.
I am Jerry Reason.
Not
You want
you.
to see my ID?
Your son.
My son is Zachary Christian Lee Reason.
What year were you born?
I was born in 72.
Shit, you
Hey,
want?
come
I'll tell
on,
you what
man.
Hey, whoa.
Though Jerry provided his ID card, he was physically seized without any legal basis.
I was gonna say, unless they think he's aiding and abetting or something, like, because it's like harboring a fugitive, maybe, but they haven't articulated any of that. And this guy clearly does not look like he was born in. That's a rough 30 years if he was born in the 90s. He's verbally given his. They know it's for his son, so I don't know why they're detaining him unless they think there's. I don't know, dog. Yeah, bring back robot cops. What Frag said.
We'll discuss why and how in a moment.
You said you're Jerry Reason.
I am Jerry Reason.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
I'm Jerry Reason.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
I'm born in 72.
I tell you what, you said you're Jerry Reason. That's it, we got it.
Yeah, but you knew it was for his son. Ugh, this is not gonna go well.
Look.
You should have stayed calm, bro. You should have stayed. We was willing to talk to you. We was
My
willing
name
to
is
talk to
Jerry Lee
you.
Reason Jr.
Deputy Morris now retrieves the arrest warrant, which contains the name, physical description, and date of birth of their suspect.
My name is Jerry Lee Reason Jr. Senior. I done went through this once with y'all.
Okay,
Scott
listen.
Jones knows who
Until
I
we
am.
know that you're a person that we're not looking
Who you
for,
looking for?
you are going to be detained. We told you, Jerry.
But the guy that made the initial, oh my god, the guy that made the initial contact already said, "Where's your son?" Right? So he already knew this wasn't the guy they were going for. The supervisor here, old Two Stripes, either it's a corporal or whatever, senior officer, whatever, decided that we're going to hook this guy up, I guess for fun, to decide whether or not he was the guy on the warrant or not, but was not going to be considered reasonable.
Reason.
I am Jerry Reason.
You got to put the hat on.
Okay, then. That's why you're going in handcuffs.
Why am I in handcuffs?
Because you said you're the person on the warrant.
My name is Jerry Lee Reason Jr. I ain't no warrant.
Who's it for?
Deputy Morris now presents the warrant to Corporal Harrison, fully aware that they had the wrong person.
Where's your son?
That's what I was going to say. He even asked for his son. There's no, like, who's the warrant for? This is worse than the guys going to the wrong address. You don't even know who it's for. You couldn't look at a picture beforehand. You're going to have one. He's got a warrant. Depending on if it's a bench warrant or whatever, you'd at least have an ID picture of him. This is stupid.
He's in jail.
Where? Robertson County. But Corporal Harrison knew it too, as he had known Jerry since high school and has interacted with him multiple times as a deputy since 2009. In fact, he eventually addresses him by his middle name, Lee, a name that only those familiar with Jerry use, and which is notably absent from the warrant. Deputy Horton also confirmed his familiarity with Jerry, stating throughout the video, "We know each other. And don't you remember me from last time?" In fact, Horton had visited the same property and spoken with Jerry just 2 months prior.
For the younger one, he's saying is in jail, but this is...
My name is Jerry Lee Reese Jr. I done told you who I am. I told you my ID.
He's saying it's a completely different name.
No.
I'm not going nowhere, sir.
Hey, listen, you're going to go in that car willingly or forcibly.
Why is he so
You make some big mistakes.
No, you are not making a mistake. Now listen,
Y'all listen.
you
Who you looking for?
I came out here last time. You was good to me. Of 96.
I was born in 72. Look at me. I'm 52 years
You should
old.
stay calm. Sit down.
I will stay calm.
Sit down. Come on, get in there. Jerry, we dealt with each other 1,000 times. I don't know why you're being like this, man.
I don't know why y'all being like this. We're looking at the halfway house.
We gonna go up here and we gonna put you. Say we have to be on.
Remember you?
You remember me now?
Yeah, I remember my head. We cut up and everything. Yeah, I was intoxicated bad for the camper. Yeah.
Let's be calm if we can be calm.
Oh, now we're worried about it.
Yeah. What? Did they use this door?
There's a door, but you can't really. You'd have to jump. Was there a window on the end?
After knocking and waiting for several minutes, Jerry's ex-wife opens the door.
All right, contact. Yes, ma'am. I'm Deputy Lewis, Robertson County Sheriff's Office. Give me just a second.
40-21, he has contact at the door.
What's your name?
My name's Tammy.
Tammy. What's your last name? Reason.
Hello. Right. Okay.
If well, he's handcuffed. You probably have to read him his rights if you're asking him about a crime. But
what crime are you at? Whatever.
I mean, I don't know. Can you get him for driving on his own property?
No.
No.
Because he didn't break. If he broke,
he never broke the
road. If he'd have been on the road, yeah.
Of course. You know, just let him know. I've already let him know. Shit. He told us he was Jerry Reason. We said we had a warrant for Jerry Reason. So
no.
He was headed to work wherever, and he was obviously about to leave.
He got to be on.
We got to see him on the road.
Shut up.
Yeah, like the road. Once he hits the road.
Once he hits the road.
I know, because like DUIs, if they're sitting right here in the driveway or whatever, but
they're in control of the vehicle. That's a different thing, though. That's a different thing.
Affirmative.
Even like a DUI.
You might have PI, but that still requires a public place, which wouldn't count because he's on his own property.
Why? If he's driving around on the backside of his property, you can't get him for DUI.
Agreed.
Now, with a DUI, if he was sitting at the edge of the road and there's the potential for him to pull out onto the road and he's in control of that vehicle, yeah, you could still do that. But, like, I know we arrested the kid. He was mudding in his granddad's field, and he was fine as long as he was in that field, and he was DUI, but he pulled out onto the road. We saw him drive down the road, not 500 yards, maybe 400 yards for resisting.
No.
Or suspended. You got to see him on the roadway.
Which, I mean, I wouldn't, if that's the case, I wouldn't even say anything because I was
Yeah.
going to put it back in the car. He's liable to take off.
Yeah, I'm not going to say nothing to him.
Yeah. Y'all don't want to get him for resisting?
No.
Okay. I don't think, if there was a use of force, he'd be going to jail.
Yeah,
I don't think anything we did was a use of force potential.
You putting hands on somebody and throwing them in the back of a patrol car is a use of force, but not a reportable one, but
Apparently, this is not a use of force in Robertson County.
Whoa.
This is an idle threat. You get smoked by PD if you did this. You're PD.
You said you're Jerry Reason.
I am Jerry Reason.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
I'm Jerry Reason.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
I'm born in 72.
I tell you what, you said you're Jerry.
Must attempt to de-escalate prior to a use of force. The moment Corporal Harrison told Jerry to stop, he stopped.
Whoa.
Immediately after, the deputies effected an unlawful detention.
You said you're Jerry Reason.
I am Jerry Reason.
Turn around, put your hands behind you.
No.
You said you're Jerry Reason.
am Jerry Reason.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
I'm Jerry Reason.
Turn around, put your hands behind your back.
I'm born in 72.
I tell you what, you said you're Jerry Reason. That's what we got.
And escalated their use of force to the level of response that would be reasonable for a person who was actively resisting, aggressive, and assaultive. It should also be noted that the agency's use of force report does not have a section to fill out for the display of a less than lethal beanbag load in a shotgun. The incident caused Jerry to seek medical attention, as after the deputies left, he was dizzy and disoriented with elevated blood pressure and sugar levels. Hours later, the handcuffs still left impressions on his after instructing him not to mention Miranda rights.
You said read him as Miranda rights, and I wouldn't say anything to him. You said read it to him? I wouldn't, no, I wouldn't say anything to him.
But he's not detained.
I've been unable to determine what was whispered. But if you can figure it out, let me know. The deputies eventually make their way to the cruiser, where Jerry has been detained for the past 20 minutes.
All right, Jerry. Hey, listen, man, me and you've always been cool. We've been dealing with each other since back when I worked for Springfield. Hell, since back when I first hired into the jail, in 09. Right. So, I don't know why you get like that with me, man.
Not too long ago.
Okay. Listen, man, I would never lie to you. I don't break the law. If I tell you I got a lawful right to be here, I got a lawful
You just broke the law.
right to be here, okay? Ain't no problem. Hang on, just hang tight right there. I'll get you stuff back.
Currently, Jerry has legal counsel, so there's bound to be updates in the future. And as soon as I find out anything about this case, I'll be sure to let you know.
Oh, bro, not the deputies needed any help today. That was very unlawful. That would have been days off, if not, like, potentially getting fired where I came from. I was just stupid. I hate it too. Like, you're not always gonna have the answer of exactly what you got, right? But generally speaking, you need at the very minimum reasonable suspicion that crime is afoot. And in that case, you were nowhere near that. You already knew who you were talking to. Both of y'all already knew who you were talking to. You knew you were looking for his son, not him. You got into this whole ID thing. You used force. That's stupid.
Has autism. So
Does he?
Yes. Okay. So
horrible policing, like the worst kind of policing. That. Yeah, dude. I think I'm with Dan on this one. I think old boy gets paid, or unless it's one of these judges that's like, no, they're not liable. But it's just terrible. Like, I don't understand how that happens, and because it made the news, right? Or at the very least, it's being brought to attention here. How does command staff not look at that and be like, well, like, that's a problem? At least do some discipline. Give them their days off. Make them do retraining. Nobody got hurt per se. Like, this guy did have to go to the hospital. You don't know to what degree that was. And that's really going to get sorted out on the civil side of things. But, like, you damn near have official oppression on that. Just because you have zero qualified immunity because you didn't have a lawful detention or arrest at all. You didn't even have... It would have been hard to articulate like I say, you kind of look at it. Maybe you're saying, like, this guy is maybe taking this kid in the car. I fully get if you're serving a warrant on the property that you can go search that car for it, if that's within the context of the warrant itself. But the second you realize that guy's not there, you let him go. Or you're detaining him to make sure that he can't get that kid to get away. That I would understand, but that's a very different way of articulating this call. Actual corn. It's a euphemism.
So that's the parents of an autistic Sumner County man who's become the latest sober driver to be arrested for a DUI.
It's the new development in our sobering problem investigation. Innocent Tennesseans charged with a crime they didn't commit.
So these parents
This is going to piss me off.
tell our chief investigative reporter Jeremy Finley their son's disability was not taken into account when deputies suspected him of driving drunk.
You should not have to know the disability or not disability of someone to determine whether they're drunk. The tests are rather straightforward. Like, it's hard to fake or not fake HGN or horizontal gaze nystagmus. Like, you're not going to mistake the smell of alcohol coming from somebody's breath. I don't know. It's whatever.
Just moments after 21-year-old Charlie Hatch is pulled over, the rapid-fire questions start.
You have anything to drink tonight?
No, sir.
At youth group?
No, sir.
Before youth group?
No, sir.
After youth group?
No, sir.
Nothing in the car?
No, sir. You may be a bit impressed how quickly he answers, but soon he has confusion.
Why are we stumbling? Why are we slurred of speech? You used your truck for balance and we're stumbling a little bit.
Because my legs are tired from the 12-and-a-half-hour shift.
Even though Hatch explains he just left youth group after working all day, Sumner County Deputy Gabriel...
Struggling to stand is not by itself enough reasonable suspicion for intox. You're going to need way more than just that. You had to use your truck to stand. One clue, and I hate seeing this, they will see one clue, one factor, and they'll anchor onto that and say, no, I got a DWI. You saw this with the fish cop guy. That was like, this guy's impersonating, even though he was nowhere near the elements of the offense for that. You know, you stumbled. Could easily have, I don't know, a blister on their foot, have lost their balance for half a second. It happens. It's the totality of the circumstances that give you reasonable suspicion, not a single thing, unless he's like takes a sip from the Corona right in front of you and you're like, what the fuck, dog?
Yap has his doubts about his sobriety. The warrant reads after a Hendersonville officer saw Hatch cross the double yellow line 6 times, Yap notes Hatch had slurred speech and had to restart the walk and turn test. Plus, Deputy Yap had asked Hatch a question that's required before a field sobriety test is given.
We have any medical problems?
No, sir.
None? Nothing wrong with our eyes?
No, sir. The end result? Handcuffs.
Right now, you're being placed under arrest for driving under the influence.
But here's where the events of that night take a turn.
He shows so many signs of impairment.
Hatch's parents, Andy and Andrea, arrive, telling something Deputy Yap hadn't heard.
He has autism. So
Does he?
Yes. In Charlie's mind, that's not a disability.
I asked if he had a disability. He said no. I asked if...
He's not going to tell you.
It turns out Hatch had been diagnosed with autism since he was little and is high functioning. He also lives with anxiety and ADHD. So in stressful
ADHD and anxiety aren't going to affect you here. The autism will, but he answered all the questions correctly. Autism will not give you horizontal gaze nystagmus, which he probably had 0 of, right? And the walk and turn is hard for people to do sober. So is the one leg stand, but I don't think he had reasonable suspicion for that, even.
Circumstances, he has trouble following directions.
Why are we stumbling? Why are we slurred of speech?
Jessica Moore is with Autism Tennessee.
And so we try to help law enforcement understand to slow down. Are they asking rapid fire questions?
You have anything to drink tonight?
No, sir.
At youth group?
No, sir.
Before youth group?
No, sir.
After youth group?
Are they asking too many things at once? Are multiple people speaking at the same time?
He handled that just fine. He just said no to all of it, which is shout out to him for knowing his rights. But yeah, this is bad. Oh, Mando, don't say that. 300 DUI. Oh, bro, you know how many DUIs I had with 0 BAC? You know how many vehicle searches I did where I didn't at least find paraphernalia? 0. It is not hard. These guys are just robots. Stupid in the worst way. Like, they have no actual investigative acumen to determine whether or not there's actually crime happening. That's so stupid. Like, you should be put on the Brady list if you get like more than a handful of these.
Same time. All of that can cause, especially an autistic person, to not be able to respond quickly. They may have trouble processing the language.
Are you concerned that people with autism could be mistaken for someone who's impaired?
Walking that straight line, standing on one foot, following, a person's finger with their eyes could be really challenging.
He's just showing so many signs of impairment. All 3 tests, he failed all 3 of them.
I have my doubts.
Does it matter if he has autism?
To me, yes.
Yes.
But to the courts, I would also say
yes.
Yes, but he's gonna have to argue in court. He's 21.
Despite the disclosure of his disabilities, Hatch is taken to jail.
I think we were more just angry that this could happen, that someone could be completely sober, under the influence of nothing, no medication, nothing, and be charged with DUI having done nothing wrong.
Months after Hatch's arrest, his blood work came back. No alcohol, no drugs in his system. The charge dismissed.
Yep.
Officers need more training. They need.
It's whatever. This is at least deputies. Bro, I just can't, dude. There's no excuse. I was very lucky. I got pretty decent autism training, like specifically around autism, because there are late fees. Jennifer, thank you for the late fee. Golly, there's just no excuse. There's like zero excuse for that. And I'm glad that at least, shout out to judges for dismissing the charge. I can give judges some points here. They did the right thing. That's because what sucks in a lot of these situations, same thing with like addressing when somebody's got like PTSD is not the same as autism, but like when somebody's having an acute mental state, stressor, right? A domestic relationship can be very much that. You'll make scene. Guy just found his wife of 25 years cheating on him, right? He's going to be a little stressed out. So he's probably not going to react like a normal human being. Address it as such, right? Same thing. Lady comes home, finds that her son just deleted. She's going to be a little hysterical. That's part of the human reaction, right? Let's maybe treat the situation with the kind of tact it requires, right? And in a lot of these situations, you'll get somebody that's either got autism or even just if they're impaired. Let's say they are impaired. Let's not do the 3-hour SFSTs on the side of the road where you're like, well, clearly this person's impaired. Get enough for the PC, arrest them and be done with it. Rather than watching people stumble all over the place and fall and hurt themselves. It's just like, likely months, because that's how every legal thing happens. Legal stuff takes forever. You do have a right to a speedy trial, but oftentimes it can take time. He wasn't in custody for those months. They probably released him on his own recognizance because he had no criminal record likely prior to that. Like the whole thing is stupid. We had this happen a lot of times. We had a kid, this little kid, his kid was like 14 or 13 that had autism, had heard the phrase like, I want to hurt myself. And so said it when he was frustrated in school. So school shuts down. School administrators like kind of contain the kid. And we get called and they want us to do an emergency detention on the kid. And I was like, no, because one, he's at school. So he's within the care and custody of somebody else. Parents showed up. And the parents were like, well, I want to see my kid. And this principal decided she was going to take control and custody of this kid because she thought that this parent was terrible for letting this kid feel this way or whatever. And I was like, no, we're not going to do that. That is the parent. That's the biological parent. And the more we looked into it, the kid had heard it on the internet, got frustrated, and just said it. And I'm like, well, if the parent's willing to take the kid to treatment and the parent's here, I don't see any other signs of neglect or abuse or whatever. We don't have any authority to overstep this parent just because the kid made an outcry statement that he wanted to hurt himself. And especially at that age with the autism portion of it, it's not reasonable to assume that he means it. He didn't make any plans. He didn't make any attempts. Like, I can't overstep the authority of a parent to take control of this kid. We had to threaten this principal with kidnapping. I was like, if you put your foot down and prevent that mother from going in that door, I will take you to jail. I go, okay. It's a whole thing. But some people, it's so stupid. Because it's kind of your job to know. There needs to be, it's required in Texas to have training on this. So shout out to Tennessee for being idiots.
Cops rush to what's being called the House of Horrors.
Who else is in the house? Who else is in here?
My stepson is in here.
How many other people?
Listen, that's it. I have 2 cats.
That's stepmother Kimberly Sullivan holding her dog.
Everybody's out?
Yes.
But your stepson's still inside?
Yeah, he's right here.
Okay,
yes.
come out. Come down the road. Come on, come on. It's not safe to stay here. Come on.
All right, here he is. All right, my dog is shaking.
Then you see a firefighter carrying out her emaciated 32-year-old stepson.
Got one victim right here.
Firefighters say he told them, I want my freedom. He's 5'9" tall and weighs only 68 pounds. He was taken to an ambulance. Today, the house in Waterbury, Connecticut is all boarded up, but for more than 20 years, the stepson says he was locked in a small 8 by 9 foot storage space on the second floor. He was given only 2 sandwiches a day and had to drink water from the toilet. Longing for freedom, he set fire to the house using printing paper, flammable hand sanitizer, and a lighter. When flames woke her, the stepmother called 911.
Please hurry, there's a fire.
Okay.
Oh my God, there's a fire. My son, stepson is in his room.
Did he get injured? Is he on fire?
Yes, he's injured.
Where is he injured?
I don't know. He's kind of, I don't know. He's kind of.
Echo Warrior, we will do some collaborations here in the future. I don't know that we're going to necessarily do it with Donut, but we definitely are going to do some sort of collaboration here in the future.
Tapped out. He's out of it.
That's the window that will probably haunt me and my family for years to come. It's just shocking to know that there was even a boy I never even knew of, and that was living in that room.
I spoke with Kimberly Sullivan's attorney, John.
Prison for the rest of forever.
Colitis.
The father dictated how the child would be raised.
But he died a year ago, right?
1 year ago, correct.
So what's been going on in the last year?
Well, he hasn't been a child, he's been an adult for the last 18 years. There's been no restraint. There's been nothing preventing him from leaving the house.
How does she then explain the condition of this man?
In our system, she doesn't have to explain anything.
I don't know that I could be a defense attorney. I'm glad someone's willing to do it, but I don't know how you sleep at night.
Over the coming weeks, we're going to get a lot more information, and we're going to prepare our response to each and every one of the allegations.
Got one victim right here.
Do you believe there's still long-term good that can be done by an individual officer or police going call to call? Yes. So to not get on too big of a pedestal here for what Zola Hobo's kind of saying. So very similar to politics is a really good example of it. National politics don't change much, really, truly. What does this have to do with the price of salt in India or whatever the heck the phrase is, right? At the national level, maybe my taxes go up, maybe they go down. Maybe our foreign policy gets affected, which is still an important thing to consider, right? Because starting needless wars causes suffering, and we should care about that. But when you want to talk about making a difference, typically the smaller the circle is, the bigger the difference you can make. I can make a bigger difference in a close friend of mine's life than I can in an entire city. And as a police officer, especially like a beat cop, like my area of operations there was like 2 square miles tops. And that was my primary. Now, I had a 99 square mile jurisdiction, but my specific primary beat was only 2 square miles and maybe 3 tops. But I got to know all of the people that worked in all of the stores, all of the apartment managers, all of my frequent flyers, all of my juveniles that were typically delinquent. And even like just the people that drove through there, the people that worked there, all that kind of stuff. I saw them, 4 to 5 times a week, every week, year round, no matter what. I was going to be, if it was my days on shift, I was going to be in a patrol car in their neighborhoods, right? And so I think that there was a joke we had, and we used to see it on, it was a shout out to, what was it called? Not Arlington Live, Arlington Urban. If you guys want a fun thing to follow on Instagram, Arlington Urban used to be just kind of like a social media page just for Arlington. And people used to complain about the weekend crew, which was all of us rookies at the time. And they said, bro, don't be having expired plates in the weekend. Our APD be getting after it, right? You could tell that people knew that we were very proactive. We stopped everything that moved there, mostly because we were looking for interdiction stops. We didn't write tickets. And it was funny because in the comment sections, I would randomly realize people were talking about me specifically. They're like, oh yeah, it's that one brown guy. Like, he doesn't ever write tickets to anybody, but I'll tell you what, you better not have an out headliner. He's going to tell you. But I do think that, like, on an individual level in a community, yes. Now, people move in and out of those communities. People have different relationships with you depending on, whether they're a business owner or an individual or just a resident. But I do think that you can make a difference, just expect your difference to be rather small. I could think of really specific instances where I was at ground zero for somebody losing a loved one, and they had to put up. I was the only officer that was going to be there for them, and I was there for them for 6 or 7 hours waiting in a hospital to see if their loved one would die. I prayed with a dad while his kid died. We didn't know it at the time, but I got to be there in that moment. And in that moment, he'll always remember that, right? Like that scarred us all collectively for life. But because I got to treat him well, even though I was the police, like I picked up his other child and drove him to the hospital so at least he could be there for it and then be there for the family. And I helped with victim services and all that kind of stuff. Like, you're not going to change the world, but you can do positive good. And I think this is kind of why I'm still very passionate about this. I wanted to go into medicine prior to going to law enforcement. And I was pre-med for like my first 3 years in college. And it dawned on me, one, I didn't want to be like a pharmaceutical pushing person. And I didn't like the politics around like big medicine, especially in America. It's kind of shitty. But in policing, you're given a pretty long leash to handle at your discretion how you think that your beat or your jurisdiction needs to be policed. And typically, if you care enough to do it and you're doing it for the right reasons as a like service person, I think that you make a way bigger difference in policing than you ever would in the military or whatever. I would say the same thing about teachers, because again, the scope of your work is going to be small. In the military, you're only going to make a difference in your unit. Maybe sometimes your unit's going to interact with other ones and they're like, hey, sweet, you did a good job. And that made our lives easier. But generally speaking, the lives that you will affect, or if you can affect good, it's going to be within the group of people that you're working with or serving with. You don't typically interact very often with people outside of it in a meaningful way. It's going to be a very quick transactional thing. Hey, you're supposed to get me supplies. You're supposed to go drop bombs. You're never going to see each other a handshake. Versus in law enforcement or teaching or nursing, a lot of those service-based industries, if you do it for the right reasons, I think you can. So I stand by that. But you have to have the right disposition for it. You really do. Like, that is not for everybody. I think that this can very much jade people. I'm pretty lucky. I come from a Christian background, which kind of emphasizes the whole service aspect of it anyways. People don't have to deserve good things for you to want to do good things for people. I think conversely, too, there are just generally personalities that tend to do better. Extroverts in certain circumstances, introverts in others, depending on what the role you're playing in that service thing is. But there's also nonprofits. There's a lot of different ways that you can do this. But yes, I do think an individual officer can make a difference. Is it normal to be scared when you go to a hot call? Yes, I think that, how would I explain this without being too terribly triggering for people that are there? A hot call when you're new is a little bit scarier, I think, than it is when you're a little more experienced. When you're new, there's 3 different kind of fears that you're going to have. 1, I don't want to screw anything up because that's a big stress, right? 2, I need to know what I'm doing, because the problem is oftentimes that call text is very crappy, or you're new to it. So you're like, I've done all this in practice, but now it's real. And then 3, there's a level of self-preservation that's there unless you're an idiot. I was born an idiot, so I had less of that, should I say, on the self-preservation thing. This is also kind of where boys tend to do pretty well at this. We're idiots. This is why we have shorter lives. But like, the longer you do it, the more that fear stems on making sure that you do it right, more than you are about screwing it up. I think the more experienced you get, those fears also shift to like liability. You'll notice in a lot of my discussions, I'm very liability adverse. I'm nervous about what my backstop is. I'm nervous about the legal implications that'll happen afterwards. Because once you've done it a couple of times, you know at least how to do it safely. So that's no longer your concern. I'm now concerned about how is this going to play out in the court of law. Once you've done 10, 15, 20, 100 of these use of force incidences, right? You know generally how to do them well. And especially when you're in like a good shift, you get to do them with guys you trust, but it's definitely sketchy. Like anyone that says they're not scared is lying for sure. But I think the fear comes from very different places. I think in like really bad calls, which happen very infrequently, but like a shooting in progress where you're hearing gunshots, or like it's an emergency domestic where somebody's being held hostage. So you know you're going to be taking a very hard decision, or you're going to be entering into an environment where I'm the person yelling with the flashlights and everything. Like I am the target on his back. I think there's definitely a little bit of fear of death, but I think if you're doing the job the right way, you're more afraid of letting people down. You don't want to be Uvalde, and I think you also don't want to like mess it up. That's the best way I can describe it. But yeah, I don't think you ever get calm for those. You definitely experience fear. I think it's healthy. I think if you're not experiencing fear, you probably shouldn't be there, because you're likely not taking something into consideration when you're doing it. Extra precautions. Fucking blank. Eggs talk like it's cracking me up. Everybody with eggs.
Got pulled over by his own brother and was hoping he wouldn't get a ticket, but got one anyway.
Why y'all speeding? He said, why we speeding?
We just trying to get home. I ain't gonna lie to you.
We got some McDonald's, happy, and that's it, bro. Living life is black young riding in the V8. We up, not saying right, but this put the stripes out on us. You hear me? Look, y'all see, I just got my McDonald's. I just told y'all. And then my brother pulled up. This my twin, by the way. He wear glasses like me. Stop playing. You forgot we share the same house? You stupid, bro. Your camera better be recording so I don't see the red dot. It better be. Because I'm telling mama. Let me see the video you got, though, when we was pulling up behind you. All right, bet. You better not tell Ma, though.
He got pulled over by his own brother and...
My brother was not stupid enough to drive in my jurisdiction. If I ever saw his car, I would 100% pull him over. I would 100% give him his ticket. I'd find a reason. Yeah, you cross that yellow line, ticket. See you in court, loser. They're having fun. I mean, it's a legit ticket, or at least a legit interaction. I'll at least... Trolling your brother is always worth it. Ba 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 ba. He finally noticed. I need to exercise. How far did y'all do the egg stuff? Yolks. What's cracking? Where did the eggs jokes start?
Cameras captured one man's brazen attempt to catch a flight home. On Sunday, April 17th, Wyclef Florizard goes through TSA using a buddy pass for a Southwest Airlines flight to Austin. However, there were no seats available, and it was his second attempt in 2 days. Security video shows Florizard head to the Delta terminal and scope out another flight to Austin. He then stands behind a passenger and allegedly takes a photo of her boarding pass.
Comfort Plus, welcome to board for Austin, A2. If your zone is Comfort Plus, you're welcome to board at this time, A2.
About 25 minutes later, Florizard appears to do it again, this time while standing next to a man at the gate. He then gets on the plane using the photo on his phone and hides in a bathroom. According to charges filed in U.S. District Court in Utah, once the doors to the plane were closed, Florizard came out of the bathroom to find no seats available. And when the flight attendant couldn't locate his reservation or ticket, the plane was forced to return to the gate. Security cameras captured one man's brazen attempt to catch a flight home. On Sunday, April 17th, Wyclef Florizard goes through TSA using a buddy pass for a Southwest Airlines flight to Austin. However, there were no seats available, and it was his second attempt in 2 days. Security video shows Florizard head to the Delta terminal and scope out another flight to Austin. He then stands behind a passenger and allegedly takes a photo.
Sorry, Chad, I'm reading a message real quick. Stand by. He's live. Can I make him take a break? How long of a break do we need? I need like... I'm the only person in chat.
Oh, okay.
The only person hosting.
Just you tell Taylor. I don't want to tell her.
Okay, I'll text her. I'm being pulled away potentially. Obviously, I have 5 more videos to get through. Okay. That's on them. They're gonna just take an L from society here. Stand by. Y'all are still at these egg. Y'all aren't even here for me anymore. Y'all are here for the egg jokes.
Investigates Charlie Specht and Sean Mickey tell us many of the details of the incident have remained secret until now.
hit and run PDO 456 Prospect, seeing multiple calls in.
It eroded my trust, not just in, Erie County, Sheriff's Department, also in the Buffalo Police Department.
I went down the street and hit a few parked cars.
Should any of them tarnish the police department, they should be held accountable. They will.
As chief of the Erie County Sheriff's Narcotics and Intelligence Unit, DJ Granville is front and center when police agencies announce major drug busts in Buffalo.
And I want to commend our chief of narcotics and intelligence, DJ Granville.
But Granville's actions nearly a year ago have clouded his future and that of another member of his politically connected family. They also raise fundamental questions about whether police are given special treatment when they're alleged to have broken the law. Shortly before midnight on April 11th, 2024, Granville was off duty driving his Dodge Ram pickup owned by Erie County. According to a Buffalo police report obtained by Two on Your Side, Granville was less than a mile from his West Side home when he struck two vehicles on Jersey Street near the intersection of Prospect Avenue. His vehicle then turned south on Prospect, heading in the wrong direction on a one-way street. The pickup struck a third vehicle, causing that car to hit a fourth vehicle. Granville then continued a block down Prospect before his car struck two more vehicles facing northbound. He passed Hudson Street, striking a seventh vehicle before coming to a stop. Buffalo police would not provide us with the full police report for the incident, but Two on Your Side obtained it from other sources, and it shows the crash was originally classified as a hit and run.
Yeah, my car was underneath this tree.
Mary Wyant's car was parked in front of her Jersey Street apartment when Granville's pickup sideswiped it. She says it caused $7,000 worth of damage.
And in that open spot is where my neighbor's car was. Hers had substantially more damage, and so that's when it was really like, oh no, something bad has happened.
A total of 6 drivers have filed legal claims with Erie County seeking reimbursement for repairs. That's expected to cost county taxpayers nearly $60,000. Granville faced no charges related to drunk driving, and nothing indicates he was required to undergo a breathalyzer or field sobriety test. Court records obtained...
This is bullshit. I'm about to sit in the hell out of Buffalo. Buffalo... We're going to take... I'm going to take 20. I'm going to take more. Screw it. Josh is trying to exit. Hold on. You know what I can do here for all this egg talk here? I can just start muting people.
By Two on Your Side, show Granville was instead ticketed for going the wrong way down a one-way street, later reduced to jaywalking and a $150 fine. Do you feel like this sheriff's chief is being treated differently because of who he is?
Yes.
Do you think the average person would be involved in a crash involving 7 vehicles and face no charges?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is one of my main concerns. It's a public safety issue. No one's above the law. If it were a normal citizen who had gone through it and caused this much damage and hit this many cars, that a different action would have been taken.
Any questions, I'd be happy to answer anyone.
Sheriff, how do you respond to these very serious allegations that have been made against your chief of narcotics, Granville?
Charlie, we're here today talking about something that's really made an impact on Erie County. The people, you saw the search warrants, they were executed throughout Erie County. We took fentanyl, dangerous guns, and so forth. And you're talking about a car accident. I really don't have a comment on a car accident.
What would you say to people that look at this drug bust and say, this is great, you're taking drugs off of the street, you're holding people accountable, but when one of your own chiefs allegedly...
So the municipal's getting sinned because Buffalo police did not do the investigation. They should have investigated that fully. That's why I took points.
Drives drunk,
I'm about to take
smashes
more
7
points.
cars, costs taxpayers $60,000 in damages. That person is not being held accountable.
Well, I think you answered the question. It's allegedly, until I hear otherwise, which I haven't. It's a car accident, and I don't have a comment on that. Yes.
Can we ask the chief if he was driving drunk that night?
No, you may not.
Granville, who made $214,000 last year, comes from a politically connected family, and he has donated thousands to local political campaigns. Granville's wife, Maria Esquilin Granville, is a member of the Erie County Democratic Committee and has hosted political fundraisers for Democratic Chairman Jeremy Zellner, former Mayor Brown, and acting Mayor Scanlon. His wife's sister is Lucia Esquilin, seen here in 2023 when she became a Buffalo Police lieutenant. Esquilin responded to Granville's car crash and signed off in multiple places at the bottom of the police report. A source with knowledge of the incident said internal investigators with the Buffalo Police are now probing whether Esquilin helped cover up the actions of her brother-in-law last April. Wyant, who confirmed that she was interviewed by internal investigators, says that's all she's looking for.
It's a public safety issue. I think that there needs to be more transparency.
That's extra shitty. Okay, I'm going to take my lump of flesh here, and that'll be it. The rest we'll save for another stream while y'all continue to go do your egg jokes that are there. I'm going to go ahead and send media, because I feel like this was Juan's doing. I'm going to see if I'm wrong here. I'm going to scroll. There's 1, 2... 3, 4, hold on, 5, 6, 7. I'm counting all the times Juan made an eggs joke. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Come on, Juan. I know you couldn't have helped yourself. Oh, Hardy, it's good to see you, Doug. I'm sorry, I'm scrolling the chat real quick to see how many points I'm taking from media. Okay. What did I say? 12 was the last number I said? Okay. We'll do $120. 100 points from media. There it is. Anyways, I love you all. And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your evening. How many likes? Did we get the likes goal? On, let's see. We need to get 110 likes. Are we short? Literally just drove a food truck to, hold on. That's 90. He's a free, my boy. Ivana, it's wonderful to see you. Oh, we have some new people in chat. I can say hi to it. Lemonade said, free, my boy. Excellent from Dan. I won't punish anyone else. I get to punish Juan. The huevos for Josh for taking points from me. 110. We're at 101 on likes. I'm being exploited. Here we go. I'll keep going. Anyways, if you guys would like to join the larger conversation, I will likely be in the after party because I'm probably jumping off for a 5-second phone call. If I am, I will be in the after party. Y'all will know in the next 10 minutes if I will be in the after party. So I'll see you guys there. If you'd like to join that, you can do so by becoming a member here on our YouTube channel or a member through our Patreon group. And for as little as $1 a month, you can become part of our Patreon group or our Discord group where we hang out. We do after party stuff. We have they do a bunch of cool stuff without me. They have a D&D night. Blank, our Punisher right now, is definitely we're at 113. We give points. Okay, 110. That is 920. Shout out to you guys reaching the likes goal. Bro, chat's just out here stomping the yard with points. Y'all have more points by yourselves than almost any of the positive points here. Josh, we hit the likes goal. All of y'all. Hey, I respect it. Anyways, thank you guys for hitting the likes goal. Thank you guys for supporting this kind of stuff. We will be here Thursday without issue. Next Tuesday, I might be able to make stream. We'll see. I have to be up super early. I have a training I have to do there. But for everybody else, I will see some of y'all probably in the after party. And for everybody else, I will see you guys on Thursday. Until next time, peace. These eggs things. Y'all are getting wild here. This is the shortest stream I've ever done. This is under 3 hours. But I do love you all, and hopefully I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.